Yo, it's Sigma Prepper, where wisdom is the key. We're ready for the future, staying ahead and staying free. When the world goes dark, we won't be shedding a tear. We prep with our minds, never ruled by fear. It's not the list of preps, it's the knowledge we flex. Gaining understanding and solving what's next. No sitting by a fire, eating squirrels on sticks. We'll be navigating chaos using Sigma Prepper's tricks.
In the chaos of survival, your mind is your shield. When it all goes wrong, it's the wisdom revealed. The tech, the knowledge, the smart preparation. When the crisis comes, we're gonna own the situation. We understand the risks that tomorrow could bring. We adapt and survive, it's a wolf pack thing.
SHTF, we break it down smart. From the big picture view to the detail in the parts. Drew Law's got you, his knowledge on tap. Real-time strategy, he cuts through the crap. From the high IQs to the tech we choose. We're ahead of the game, we never gonna lose. We stay prepared, never needing to fight. Join Sigma Prepper and we'll make it through the night.
It's seeing the signs, reading tomorrow through intelligent minds. Survival's more than just having a plan. It's about how you act when it all hits the fan. Join our Discord where knowledge is prime. The wolf pack's there for you every time. In the chaos of survival, your mind is your shield. When it all goes wrong, it's the wisdom revealed. The tech, the knowledge, the smart preparation. When the crisis comes, we're gonna own the situation. We understand the risks that tomorrow could bring. We adapt and survive, it's a wolf pack thing.
Reject the herd, prepare the pack. We're on a mission, there's no turning back. From crisis to strength, we'll survive the storm. It's knowing you've been able since the day you were born. Survival's an art, we sharpen the blade. We adapt, we survive, we're not afraid. Get yourself comfy for the Sigma Prepper show. The time is counting down and we're nearly good to go. Prepare your mind, cause intelligence is the key. Owning our instincts, we don't freeze, fight or flee. Knowledge is power, it's the ultimate force. No following the herd, we just create a new course. From a single lone woman to a family of 5. Learn from Sigma Prepper and see how you can thrive.
In the chaos of survival, your mind is your shield. When it all goes wrong, it's the wisdom revealed. The tech, the knowledge, the smart preparation. When the crisis comes, we're gonna own the situation. We understand the risks that tomorrow could bring. We adapt and survive, it's a wolf pack thing.
Reject the herd, prepare the pack. Click the like button, it's as easy as that. Check the description for the links you need. Follow my socials, subscribe to my feed. Support me on Patreon to gain the edge. Discounts and freebies, just make a pledge. The countdown's done, it's time to go. Sigma Prepper's live, let's start this show.
Welcome, Wolfpack. Campfire Catch-up, Thursday, 5th of December, 2024. With Drew, the Sigma Prepper. Thank you to each and every one of you for being with us. Really appreciate it. Little bit of a completely mad rush craziness going on, but I hope we've got everything going on. Let me just double check we're all good in the hood. Yes indeed, I should be able to click on people's messages and it works. There's loads in here, so thank you everyone. Robert McNamara in the house first and foremost. Great to see you. What time I thought so. Hello everyone. John C as well, one of our VIP Patreon members. Thank you for being with us. Hawkins as well. Great to see you, Hawkins. Third night in a row, is that? Careful, dude. It might become a habit, which we would love. Thank you for being here. Sandy as well. We just had a little bit of a behind-the-scenes catch-up. Tonight we're going to be having a special guest. UK Urban Prepper is going to be coming on board as a live guest after in part 2. So don't go anywhere. We've got loads coming up in the show tonight. Lots to talk about, and whatever you want to talk about, don't forget, that's what tonight's show is all about. The Campfire Catch-up. It's a two-way thing, don't forget. It's all about discussing what's on our minds. And of course, Pedigree Mongrel here, kicking it off with a tsunami warning. I think the tsunami warning has been retracted, but we're going to look at that as part of tonight's part 1 for the Campfire Catch-up. So thank you everyone for being with us. Thank you, Pedigree Mongrel. And yeah, good to have you all with us. My window's stuck. I've got it going again. John C. Caroline Rose, great to see you. Orion US, who felt the 7.0 from Australia. Kaza, favouriteest person in London. Great to see you, my lovely. How's the weather in the UK? Well, for those that saw the alien invasion video I did. The what, Drew? That's right, the alien invasion video, which was based on the 3rd of December prediction. which was one of those proper
Critical alert.
aliens are coming,
This
invasion.
is not a test.
Invasion happening. It was one of those sorts of things. So we had the alien invasion where I was bugging out in the woods. You came with me, and of course, you know, took my camping chair, and we went out to see if we could see any alien invasions, and of course we didn't. But we had a great laugh. Thank you to everyone who shared in with the fun over the alien invasion. You'll see that on my channel. And of course, earlier today, for those that haven't seen it, earlier today we had the Funky Prepper live analysis. Did Funky Prepper just find out? Yeah? Did he thingy bob around and find out? The old Monopoly man there go to jail? So if you missed that, that's just me breaking it down, because everyone's been asking me, what's happened to Funky Prepper, even though I don't really follow him and never have, but I've known about him for a while, and so I thought we'd break it down. So we did that earlier today. Thank you to everybody who shared in with that and shared your views on what you think's going on. I put it out there as to what I thought was going on. So yeah, and of course, don't forget as well, yesterday we had the Warzone Wednesday. How do we survive World War III, right? So this is every week now. Obviously, this was yesterday's one. If you didn't see that, you'll see that on my channel as well, and the one the week before if you want to go back and check them out. So we're talking about specifically, obviously, things hitting the fan around the world right now, particularly with the escalations of Russia and Ukraine and NATO, particularly with things like North Korea, South Korea, with the instability going on there, plus all the stuff with the trade wars and tariff wars going on between China and America. There's a lot to talk about. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of pieces in play. So it's going to take a weekly show to break that down. So every Wednesday, Warzone Wednesday, wear your onesies. It's all about being comfy while discussing very uncomfortable topics. As you'll see tonight with the campfire, it's freezing cold out there. I got the robe, got the bedroom attire, so we're all good to go. UK Urban Prepper, he's going to be coming on live as a guest later on. Of course, a lot of you familiar with his channel. Miss Worm's in the house as well. Great to see you, my lovely. I hope you enjoyed the Funky Prepper video. Hi Sandy, great to see you. Happy Limpet. Who haven't I seen yet? Paul C. Great to see you, my man. Let me say welcome and thank you as our newest VIP Patreon member. So I need to be adding you. Your name needs to be added in to our thank you list. Yeah. I'm guessing Paul C is how we want the name to appear, yeah? Are you cool with Paul C to match your or is that not you? Let me know. Yeah. If I'm talking to the right Paul. For a start. Yorkshire Pud's with us as well. Great to see you. I saw you over on the Funky Prepper Where Is He video. I do feel like that should be sorry, I didn't really get. I'll tell you what else I didn't do either. Is I didn't naughty me. I didn't do. Sorry, 5 seconds, because I would usually have done an announcement on Discord. Okay, sorry. I just got to do this very quickly. I do apologise. I know this is very boring for everyone. But all I'm doing here, you see, is over on the Discord server. The Sigma Prepper Discord community group. Please go and join. It's completely free. And one of the benefits of it over on the announcements here that you see, when I hit enter, this basically sends out a message to everybody, notifications, so that people know we're streaming live. So even if YouTube doesn't send the notifications out, which it has a habit of not doing, which is why I strongly recommend notifications all on the bell thing. So I feel like I'm letting the wolf pack down. They're gonna be like, oh man, I never got a notification. I missed the show. They love to be here for the Campfire Catch-up. So I had to do that quickly. And now we have, so thank you everyone for your patience on that. So let's catch up with the chat. Paul C is fine, thanks, says Paul C. Great, cool. I've got the right Paul for the Patreon VIP then. And I'll hook you up over, don't forget, on the Discord server, we have this VIP area for the Patreon supporters from as little as like 20 cents a day, right? And as well as things like free book downloads and things like freebies, discounts, behind the scenes videos, and you get access to this area here, right? So this is where we usually have our after parties, live after parties in voice, so we can all talk and have conversations after the show. That's usually a VIP only thing for Patreon members, but which Paul will now be able to be a part of. But it's the same Paul has really enjoyed over the last few weeks. I've been doing it publicly in this after public lounge area, the public after party. This is the voice chat we'll be doing after this show. So if you'd like to come and check out what we get up to in the after parties, usually with the VIP onlys, but we're doing this open for everybody up until about Christmas time. So do take advantage of that. We have some great conversations. There's so much to learn about so many things, and everybody's got a good input on stuff. So please go and join in the fun over there. Links in the description below. Great place to meet people. Great place to learn about prepping and survival and keep things ticking. Miss Worm, I did enjoy it. Thank you. I tried stalking him a bit on Google and found out about his dissolved companies. Interesting. Interesting. If there was ever a reason to use Where's Wally in a thumbnail, that was it, Drew. I thought the Monopoly go to jail thing was like, because that's what makes most sense, was the conclusion of that is that he's been you know, he's been nabbed for his, and again I'll show you for those that missed it. Well, I mean, first of all, for those who missed it, if you missed it, then how very dare you. Sorry, I'm just pulling a window open. So basically, this is the video here where we were just analysing the entire situation with Funky Prepper, where's he gone and stuff. Right, I'm going to put the link to this video in the description of this one so you can see what's going on, right? But yeah, so that was what that video was about. And of course, you know, we were talking about, this was the thumbnail for it. This is what you're looking for. Yeah. And yeah, like I say, I was breaking down some of the things that didn't add up and things like that, right? That was the idea of that video. So please do check that out if you haven't seen it. Like I say, you'll see it on my channel, which if I show you what that would look like, if you just go to the main Sigma Prepper channel. Sorry. You can tell this is one of those super unprepared kind of a shows tonight, but that's how we roll. It's all right. This is how we do. So yes, when we're on the main channel here, if you click on the live tab, you'll see. So this is what you're looking for. And then of course, like I say, then we had our Warzone Wednesday, catching up on all the latest stuff to do with the escalation of global conflict. And of course, here's where we are today. So it's got loads for you to catch up on. If you've missed any of those, please do catch up on that. Let's just catch up with the chat. Make sure. Oh, Helen in the house. Great to see you, Helen. Thank you, my darling. Do the old bell notifications to all, because YouTube has a habit of not notifying anyone. But worse still, people find themselves not subscribed to my channel anymore when they look back in a few days' time. So I feel let down as an animal lover, even though I scare the snakes and spiders. Language, Timothy. Just catching up with the chat, sorry. Yorkshire Pud. Angry Prepper, American Prepper, people are referring to. Tamara, sorry. I hope Tamara's pronounced right. Great to see you. Right, so what we need to do is a bunch of stuff, because we've got loads of things going. Is that my darling Della? It is. I want a mug, she says. Daily Survival will probably get and the Etsy link. It is in the description of this video, my darling. I do appreciate anybody who's helping to support the channel and things like the merch. The merch down on the Discord chat. You can see here, if we go down to Sigma Prepper products, you've got exclusive merch. And so there's a bunch of cool designs and stuff. And you click on the link. And this is where you end up. Yeah. With all your options there. So thank you to anyone who's helping to support the channel. And getting to have their very own official Sigma Prepper merch mug. So we can say cheers. Love, peace and progress to the pack. Cheers, everyone. Look at Lafsme being a babe. An extra cheers to Lafsme as well. Thank you so very much for the super chat, my darling. This is a Streamlabs super chat. For those that don't know, this channel isn't monetized yet. It's not big enough. But you can still do Streamlabs super chats like Lafsme's just done. Thank you so much, my darling. You're such a babe. Just, you know what? Just to even know you're there in the background has already filled me with joy and warm and fuzziness. It's the same as when I see all the names popping up in a row. Yeah. Like Della Zandor and Amphir and all our crew, right? Pedigree Mongrel. It's lovely that everyone gets to come together a few times a week to share our stories of what's going on in the world and what's how we prepare against them, how we survive certain things, right? So just checking through. It's lovely to see everyone catching up live in the chat. So what we're going to do, and thank you so very much again, Lafsme, and thank you to UK Urban Prepper before that, and Mark as well for your support. Lich running on fumes, obviously put a lot into this channel, and when you're not monetized, it's very difficult to keep going. I'm doing this full time, so it's do or die. So thank you to anyone helping that happen, including just as simple as clicking the like button or sharing these videos on your social media to help the channel to grow so that we can be monetized, and then it will give me a lot more options in terms of what sort of videos we can do, and it's only going to be up from here on in. So thank you to each and every one of you for being a part of it. I'm already super proud of the little wolf pack we've built here, and so just you lot just keep doing you, and all the time you lot keep doing you, I'm going to just keep doing me, right? And as long as that happens, we are the wolf pack family. Cheers, my darlings and darlingettes and darling in-betweeners. Right, do you know what I reckon we should do? What do you reckon we should do? I reckon we should do the quotes, because we got a couple of quotes, so thank you to those. Thank you for keeping the links rocking. Daily Survival, moderator of all moderators. Kelly in the house. Love to you, my darling. Because you missed it. Cheers, Kelly. Now, don't let that become his thing where people think, oh, right, okay, so basically, if you're late, and I know I say there's no such thing as being late, you got here exactly when you intended to. But it's almost like I'm rewarding Kelly for being late by giving her her very own little special cheers. That's how other people are going to see it, Kelly. We know it's all right, but I'm just saying, got to be careful. I see in Australia the cost of mug and postage have both gone up. Is it? No, it's the same price as it was before. Do bear in mind though, there's different sizes. You've got the mega mug, which is this one, which is 20 ounce. This is big. My hands, I'm a 6 foot odd man with big hands, right? So I make it look small. Even my dad, who got the 15 ounce black mug, yeah, he said it's really heavy, more than he thinks. This one here, my dad and Mummy Mo, love to you, Dad and Mummy Mo, look. So this is the one that he's got, and this is 15 ounce. Right, this is 15 ounce mug, and even these are quite heavy, and these are considered large. This is the thing, you see, most people are used to buying mugs that are 11 ounce, which are tiny. These are all proper large and extra large or mega size mugs, right? So, and of course, and so the price of the mugs is like literally cut right back. The thing is the shipping's real difficult. Check out UK Urban Prepper in the house. Thank you so very much, my man. What a superstar. Helping to keep the lights on. Really appreciate it. And thank you again to the I've got to say thank you to the VIP Patreon members. I do apologise. Because I am 100% independent with no sponsors and no nothing, right? And no monetization, no external funding, no partners, no anything. But it's alright because there's all these ways to help, and Streamlabs is what people have been doing. Thank you so much, I really appreciate it. And the Patreon as well, which is a great way to support the channel. It's a great way to build a community of a bunch of friends and like-minded people who all support each other and get together for various things and benefit from lots of things as well. So thank you to the Patreon members, and these are them. So love and respect with the letter K, and gang signs going out to all the people you see here. Look at Paul C over there. Look at Paul C. Yeah. And John C. And UK Urban Prepper. Thank you. They're our most recentest. Oh, and Pat Riot. He's new as well. So thank you. Really appreciate each and every one of you here. No matter which tier you're supporting me on. Couldn't do it without you. And you know what? Lich couldn't do it without you, because my microphone here, I was just talking to the guys behind the scenes. This microphone here, which is what I have, it's a very expensive microphone that I bought with my media when I built my media company many years ago. But the foam on it is crazy money, right? But thanks to the Patreon supporters, that's what this month's Patreon money has gone towards. New foam. This thing's falling apart and it's like degrading and dust coming off it, and it's like, oh. So thank you so much. If it wasn't for you, there's no way I could do that. So thank you so very much. And of course, if you want to join in the fun, links in description, all the ways that you can help the channel. And really appreciate each and every one of you who is. And yeah, even if it's just liking and sharing the videos, I really appreciate that too. Love you all. Thank you so very much. And let's get back to base camp. So, there you go, Paul. Did all that behind the scenes while you weren't looking. Thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate it, and welcome. I love 15, 20 ounce mugs, says Stella. Yeah, do you know what? I did the research about a year ago when people kept asking me for merch mugs and stuff. And I said, well, I quite like big mugs. And they said, what's big mug in the UK? And I was like, well, probably about what they would call a 20 ounce mug. And that's like, and they said, oh, well, that's all I drink. And because most of my subscribers are in United States, yeah, so sorry, Carolyn. The thing is, the postage is inherently not great for mugs because it's big packaging and it's very good packaging. When mine turned up, I was well impressed. There's no way that's getting damaged in transit. And of course, you can't fit through a letterbox. It goes up to the next highest level of shipping costs just because of the shape of it. That's so, you know. If you're able to, then great. In America, the shipping's like much lower. It's only because Australia is one of the most expensive places currently, unfortunately. I had the same problem to the UK. The shipping cost was, you know, nearly as much as the mug. But here we are, and I'm a happy customer. So love, peace, and progress to the pack. Thank you, everyone. The biggest mug is Starmer. Oh, absolutely brilliant. Nicely done. Nicely done. You've forgotten the end of that. So, loads to get through. I'm just trying to keep track of everything that's going on, but we do need to check out the quotes because we had some people send in the quotes from on the Discord server. You can do it too. Let's see what we had sent in. Sigma Mindset quotes. And again, another one of those senses of joy and warmth enters me as I see another name that gives me joy to see. Purple Flurple. Welcome, my darling. Good to see you, honey. I was just saying to Laughs me earlier, Purple Flurple, when she did her super chat, and just seeing her name there was like, oh, she's there. She's live. I can nearly reach out and touch her. Yeah. That's how I feel about each and every one of you when you see your names pop up. Like warm coffee or tea to sip on. Do you know what it is, Della? If I had a small mug, I'd be like going backwards and forwards to the kitchen to make tea so many times. It's like, you know, I'd rather have twice as many cup of tea in one cup and then, you know. So anyway, quotes, send them in. This is another one of my own personal ones. In survival, your greatest asset is not what you have, but what you know. In survival, your greatest asset is not what you have, but what you know. Another one of the quotes I created for the Sigma Prepper Ultimate Prepping Guide book, which is I'm reorganizing slightly now, it would seem, but yeah, that is due out soon. Thank you everyone for your support with that. Next one was from Kaza. Thank you to Kaza for popping this one on the Discord server. You'll see it with the brain icon. Sigma quotes. The truth does not require your participation in order to exist. Bullshit does. The truth does not require your participation in order to exist. Bullshit does. Terence McKenna. Quote there from Terence McKenna. Thank you, Kazza, again. I really appreciate it. Local prepper in the house. Whoosh. Next up, Daily Survival. Thank you, my darling. Also one of our, well, not one of our, the moderator of all moderators. But yeah, one of our moderators. Thank you to Sandy as well. Another moderator here on the channel. Lessons in life will be repeated until they are learned. Lessons in life will be repeated until they are learned. Like it. Frank Sonnenberg. Great one, Daily Survival. And of course, if you've got some great mindset, inspirational and, you know, uplifting type of quotes you'd like to share, please go and do it yourself over on the Discord server. It's completely free to do. It's free to join as well. And the links are in the description. So, not really many excuses now, are there? And this is the room you're looking for over there. Sigma quotes with the icon, and you can't go wrong. And in the meantime, let's get ourselves back to the campfire, because I'm getting chilly. Deep breaths, everybody. Deep breaths. Cheers, my darlings. Adam Edwards in the house. Howdy doody. Howdy doody. Let us know how things are where you are. Hello, hello. She did a little curtsy as well. Yeah. Local prepper. When Sandy says hello, hello, she's doing a little curtsy as she does it, right? Did you like my little curtsy? Oh dear. Last me here. Hope you're well. Everyone catching up with each other. I love it. Thank you everyone for being here. I really appreciate you all. We'll be watching TV, but won't be able to comment as need to preserve phone battery power. So, bless. Love to you, Yorkshire Pud. Hope things are good where you are. So, wow, well, what a week of stuff we've had already going on, and we haven't even really got started. Like I said, we got right into it yesterday with the Warzone Wednesday. Please do check that out on the channel if you missed it, but wow. And don't forget as well, earlier today, me breaking down the situation with Funky Prep and what happened to him. Or at least in terms of our live analysis, what it looks like probably happened to him. Let me know if you disagree with that video. Feel free to, you know. And also in part 2, really looking forward to it, because UK Urban Prepper is going to be coming on the show as a guest, and we'll just chat about whatever. Nothing formal, just lastminute.com. Might as well, because we can. And we like each other. So, that's the plan for part 2. Alternate power is required. Always. Always. Do you know, it's funny actually, because just even sitting in front of me on the desk, look at this. This is embarrassing. I'm not saying you should survive on these, but I got these 3 USB battery banks. I've had these quite a while, but they're all in really good shape. I like these size ones. They're about 70, 80 watt hour. But I've got a decent off-grid system. I need to be doing a proper video on that. And live in the labs tomorrow. I'm not sure if I'm able to commit to it yet, but usually what I'd like to do for the live in the labs, I don't think we've got a live in the labs one open, so you know what you're looking for. Live in the lab, right? Tomorrow's live in the lab may be me messing around with my Chinese diesel heater, because I need to get it serviced and figured out, but I also need to buy a jerry can of diesel so I can run it through. But it's just, even like 20 quid for a thingy-bob of diesel is a bit of a thing at the moment with Christmas coming up, and we had no choice but to spend money on the heating to get that working for winter. So it's just been a bit bad timing really. But anyway, so that's yes, exactly what you have. Amphir there. Did you see the video I did, Amphir? I'm not sure. I barely looked at the chat, unfortunately, when I was doing that video. I don't know why. It's just the way it panned out. I wanted it to be more of a two-way analysis thing, but by the time I'd already got through just the basic stuff, it was quite clear, I think, what's been going on. But let me know, Amphir. I didn't see if you were in the chat or not, whether you saw that video. Della there, it's so hard to get to know neighbours nowadays, yeah. Many are sucker punch social media freaks, one-upsman competitors on who has the best yard for foreigners, yeah, or foreigners, yeah. Tom Mandic in the house. I have a feeling something is going to happen in this world and we're all going to have to stay in our homes for a bit. I totally agree, Tom. I totally agree. And in fact, on my Sigma Prepper website, which you check out the SHF Intel page and it will give you a breakdown of all the stuff that could be hitting the fan. The global threat analysis here, look. So, you know, you've got stuff like global conflict, riots and civil unrest, food shortages, grid down blackouts, national lockdowns. These are all above 75%, meaning likely in the next 12 to 24 months. Or if not already in play, like things like economic crisis, inflation already is, like global conflict already is, like riots and civil unrest already is, right? It's not a coincidence. There's a lot going on, right? So... and you're in the right place. This is exactly what we're here for. But the reason that Funky Preppers come unstuck is because of how the laws are changing around the world. And particularly when it comes to freedom of speech and, you know, bad thoughts and inciting hatred and things like that, that can be levied at people who are considered influencers that have got a large audience. You've got to tread really, really carefully. And in the UK, they've been coming down so hard on people for social media posts. It's almost become a global meme. At our expense, obviously, but it has become a global meme. And in fact, as I showed earlier in the Funky Prepper, as a reason why, again, another reason why he's likely come unstuck is this kind of a meme. Says it all, if you know what I mean.
To take the protesters away. Where are the armed men who come in to take the protesters away? Where are they? This kind of behavior is never tolerated in Boracua. You shout like that, they put you in jail. Right away. No trial, no
This is basically the British government.
Special jail for journalists. You're stealing, right to jail. You're playing music too loud, right to jail, right away. You're driving too fast, jail. Slow, jail. You're charging too high prices for sweaters, glasses, you right to jail. You undercook fish, believe it or not, jail. You overcook chicken, also jail. Undercook, overcook. You make an appointment with the dentist and you don't show up, believe it or not, jail, right away. We have the best patients in the world because of jail.
So yeah, that's kind of what we're dealing with here in the UK. So, you know, you gotta be careful not be right to jail. Right? Man, Scottish Prepper in the house. Great to see you, my man. Great to see you. I hope things are good with you. Bro, you're the most laid back prepper I know. Well, do you know what? Ironically, that is what comes with being a prepper, is that you know that, you know, when a crisis comes, you're going to own the situation. We adapt and survive. It's a Wolfpack thing. If you hadn't heard the lyrics to my song, but anyway. But that's where it's from, because Lich, right? If you know the score and you got a good idea what's going to happen, when and why, then you know the things that you need to do to mitigate against it, and you know the sort of things you need to keep you coming through. And you understand the risks associated with all the things, and you've done your homework, and you know, then it's time to help others to feel the same, right? And for every person in 2020 that was sending me emails like thanking me for the way I saved their butts, so to speak, with quite a lot of insight quite ahead of time, that's what gets me going. You know, that's what gets me out of bed in the morning, is those emails and those comments and things of people from the years and years that I've been out and about the interwebs doing this on various channels, and knowing that you've helped people in even the smallest way is like super gratification. And if I ever get this channel to the point where it's actually to the point where I'm being paid to do that, wow, how cool is that? So thank you everyone for your support. I really appreciate the way you've really been such a loyal bunch and stuck by me, and I've understood all the challenges that I faced along the way with this channel and all the resistance and how it's been held back, and I've still persevered and pushed through, and look at us now. Look at us now, Daddy. Oh, so thank you to all of you, because it's because of you kept me going and kept me positive and, you know, give me the reason to not give up. So I still reckon he's playing Hunt the Sausage and Viva Bird for him. Oh, amazing. That's my local KFC staff all locked up then. Amazing. The UK is getting too much like Whoops Apocalypse. Is that a film I don't know about, Amphi? Huh? Yeah, I never run out of toilet paper, says Robert. Classic. If you go near a jail, you'll go to jail. Damn, I said jail now. I go to jail. Mason tase. Don't tase me, bro. Don't tase me, bro. Do you know what I think we should do, though? Because things have been going on today, as usually what we do, because we need to crack on with the times, so we need to have a little look at the old global threat analysis while we're here, as we usually do, and see what's hitting the fan, have a little gloss over. Buckle up. Right, I hope you're buckled up. Hopefully, it shouldn't be too much of a rough ride. We'll have a little gloss through, as we like to do for our Campfire Catch-ups. We like to keep it cash, unless there's something epic going on. So we'll just have a quick look over the headlines here on the BBC World. Tsunami warning cancelled after magnitude 7 earthquake strikes California coast. A tsunami warning was issued for the Northern California and Southern Oregon, but was later cancelled. So we might have a quick look at that. Emmanuel Macron vows to name new French PM within days. It's all hitting it there. But lots of squabbling going around, lots of repositioning going on, right? Which is exactly what you'd expect to see. Syrian rebels capture second major city. First EU visit for Russian foreign minister since invasion. New photos released as old matey boy. Oh yeah, there was that assassination, wasn't it? That big wig guy from insurance company, was it? Italian police arrest nun over links to mafia. Who would have thunk it? Who would have thunk it? Iceland issues permits allowing whale hunting until 2029. Boo, hiss, boo, hiss. South Korean leader under pressure as impeachment vote looms. Not surprised by calling martial law, which I did a video reporting on. And then decides to undeclare it, which is not a good look, because it shows weakness then, as well as frivolously using things like martial law just because shit ain't going your way. How 2 hours of martial law unfolded in South Korea. So we had all that going on basically, but it seems like the earthquake situation here, the M7.0, seems to be the main thing rocking as the latest news, and a very strong and shallow earthquake registered by the USGS as magnitude 7.0 hit near the coast of Northern California. Bear in mind, a magnitude 7 is 32 times greater than a magnitude 6, and a magnitude 8 is 32 times greater. Don't underestimate magnitudes. Anyway, I've been in an earthquake as well. Let us know live in the chat if you've experienced an earthquake. Mine was me and Magic Hand, me and Mrs. Sigma Prepper. We were living in the Middle East when we experienced our first earthquake. I think it was a 5.7. We were about 3.2 miles away from the epicenter off the coast from where we lived. That was interesting, but that was a weird one, because the one that I experienced was like a shuddering. It made my eyeballs vibrate. I couldn't, it was like vision went blurry from, I know it sounds weird, but it was like, it was such a, like a grindy kind of a violence rather than a whoop, 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 like I thought it would be. I guess there's different tectonic plate movement that has different seismic wave patterns, and we got the blurry eyeball vision version of an earthquake. But yeah, it was quite incredible. And as well as that, there was a swaying. I mean, Mrs. Sigma Prepper made fun of me launching up. We'd only bought, it was like when flat screens first came out, right? It was when you were considered posh if you had a TFT flat screen at that point, right? This is in like in the noughties, right? 2006 or 7 or something, maybe, I can't remember. But anyway, and I launched up because this TV was going what, and I got up and grabbed it, and she's like, when she tells a story to people, that's all she says. She's like, I can't believe it, the only thing you cared about was the TV. It's like, well, it wasn't like that, honey. It's I just saw it waving and I jumped up. But yeah, that was real gnarly, major eyeballs thing kind of a thing, and it was super scary. What I thought had happened, I didn't know it was an earthquake. What I thought had happened was a 747 jumbo jet had crashed in the street behind us. That's what it felt and sounded like a jumbo jet had lit woomph in the ground and scored along the ground. Do you know what I mean? Like literally one street down from us with a 747 size thing. That's what it sounded and felt like. But it went on for about 20 seconds. I thought, nah, this is something else. That would have been over and done with. So once you get to that point, you realise, oh man, maybe this is what an earthquake is. It's like shit. Yeah. Anyway, sorry. Little bit off track. I've got my chat window there I'm supposed to be keeping track of. So, yeah. I feel for anyone in an earthquake because, again, Mother Nature has a habit of, you know, when the dildo of consequence arrives, it very rarely arrives lubed, as they say. So approximately 16 kilometers, 10 miles northwest of Santa Cruz to the California-Oregon border. So we'll have to see if there's any damage come out from that. It doesn't look like there's really any videos or anything going at the moment for that. It's a little bit early. We might have a little look on X, Twitter a little bit later on and see if we can see any reports of it in part 2 when we've got our guest, UK Urban Prepper. Don't forget, he's coming on as a guest, Mike. And he'll be calling in part 2, which we'll be going to straight after the Global Threat Analysis Report. Flat Cap Gaming's with us again. What's that? 3rd night in a row for you, Flat Cap Gaming, is it? I don't know, but good to see your name, my man. Good to see your name. Trump state funeral probably look like whoops apocalypse. Intro never gets old, says Daily Survival. Although it does get old because I've got to re-edit that entire intro sequence for this segment and replace all the 2004 with 2024s with the 2025s for January. Don't remind me. Anyway, either way, we'll lose on grocery costs when it's all over. They still put out their special catalogue each week through none of them available. The other supermarkets getting the trade. Yeah. Australia's the same, isn't it, Carolyn? I mean, urban harvesting, when I catch up with him over in Australia, he often describes how things are changing financially. Jail equals free roof over your head, free food, free TV. What's not to like, says Perps. A lot of people genuinely share that view, I think, at this point. Quick jump on comments to say Iceland are barstools for whale hunting. Isn't it just? Yeah, I'm glad you're just as disappointed as me. I had quite a lot of respect with gang signs and the letter K respect for Iceland because they've, as a nation, they've done quite well. They've remained pretty homogenous. They've, as a nation, they've achieved quite a lot. They've come out of not having a lot going on quite a lot with their data center business industry there, you know, using the thermal cooling and things like that abilities of their location. They've done really well. They've got massive internet pipelines going through Iceland and the culture itself is brilliant. So I'm really surprised to hear that they're giving it the go-ahead for more whaling until 2029, man. So Caroline Rose has definitely experienced earthquakes. Small one when we were away too. I mean, I didn't realise. I mean, that, like I said, it was about 5.7 that me and Mrs. Sigmund Prepper experienced, and that was pretty epic. I mean, given it was like only about 10 kilometres deep, and it was only about, like I say, 5 kilometres off the coast, so we were very close to it. But even then, I was really surprised at how powerful it was for a 5.7 or whatever it was. Order my merch, says Della Sandor. Can't wait to sip out of Andy's cup. Oh, that sounds gross. Sorry. Beautiful. Thank you so much, honey. Do you know, I'm really hoping I can afford to buy one of my black ones. I really want one of the 15-ounce black Sigma Prepper mugs. Thank you so much, Dara. I love to you, my darling. You've always been there for me, and you've been such a generous VIP Patreon member, as well as friend, as well as contributor, and everything. So thank you. Oh. And this time, Della, because remember I said to you, because I've got the prices trimmed so badly, that last order you did had to get cancelled, not by me, because essentially the order cost more than what's going to come in the other end because of the way the shipping worked on that order. All I needed to do was to click the OK, not a problem, let it happen button, even though it's like cutting and it's, you know what I mean? So anyway, but I haven't touched the prices, and I told you I wouldn't until you had made your order and adjusted this. No lube for you, straight to jail. Flew away on as a waffle for a moment there. Who was waffling? Me? Who, me? I was asked if I was scared during a hurricane in Cuba, to which I said it's just like a storm we get in Scotland, but the rain isn't nice and warm. Do you know, it's funny, Amphi, again, living in, you know, Southeast Asia like Thailand, and particularly a lot of time we spent in Malaysia and Singapore is very rainy, particularly in the rainy season, of course. But it's different rain. It's like fat rain. It's really like fat kind of rain. There's really large raindrops. Do you know what I mean? Proper splat in the face. But again, it's like warm rain. Warm tropical rain. It's actually quite nice. I don't like driving rain in the wind. You've got to draw a line somewhere. Right? But it's lovely to see everyone with us. County Living in the house. Great to see you, County Living. Thank you very much for joining us. So, what are we doing? Just basically babbling at the moment, isn't it? 96 earthquakes on the map, my darlings. Look at it. Now, for those that don't know, because we look into this on a daily, right? Magnitude 2.5 and above over the last 24 hours globally. The usual number we'd expect to see is more like 32 to 34 average. I've got a little bit of like on the spectrum stuff when it comes to seeing patterns and things like that, right? And remembering numbers and things. So it's about 32 to 34. So you'll have to excuse all that, right? 32 to 34, but we're sitting at 96. So we see clearly this isn't just a case of that. And we can track down how many of those are happening around here. It looks like lots of them. So if we tick this button here, it will show, look, 54 of 96 of those. Yeah. So bar 10, that's essentially making up for the entire extra on top of the 32, 34-ish we would expect to see on a daily. But look at them all. 50 earthquakes right here. Just here off the coast. So this is proper blah, 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 right? I mean, it sounded different to that. Audio effects not to scale. But yeah, look at it. It's just a litany. And look at the depth. This is more like a nuke test. 0.6 kilometers. That's 600 meters deep. What the hell? This is 10 kilometers deep. This is minus 0.1 kilometers, 100 meters deep. How does that work? 2.3 kilometers. This is crazy. So there's some really, really shallow quakes, man. I mean, the one in the Middle East when me and the missus were living there and that earthquake happened, that was considered super shallow. And that was about 10 kilometers deep, like 7 miles deep, right? I'll tell you what I mean, right? If you go on, if we just go generally and get that out of the way. If you look down here, look, 171 kilometers deep, right? This one, 256 kilometers deep, 365 kilometers deep. Don't underestimate how deep these things can get, right? 57 kilometers, 44, 338. Do you see the trend? 594 kilometers deep, right? So when we're talking 0.6 and ting, right? And like 0.9 and 0.0, right? All of that energy is going to be surface level transmitting through the plates into you know where. And if this isn't the quake of quakes, it could lead to the quake of quakes. And again, for all we know, these are just pre-quakes. Right? Before the big one comes. Like happened back in whenever it was. 9.0 or something crazy was that? But it looks like that's where it's all concentrated. And you know what? I really don't want to say it out loud, but I'm going to. We did talk about it yesterday on the Warzone Wednesday show, where I talked about looking out and expecting things like this. These are tactics of you know who, right? Part of one of the things that Russia had threatened was the fact that it had, or it was thought that they had, like a dead man switch type thing where they had nukes planted into the trenches around our coastlines of the enemy. And so whenever we stepped out of line, Russia could go beep and then go boom when you have something like this that sets off a tsunami and let the tsunami do the work. That's a talked about, written about thing. It's not like some conspiracy thing. This is lich. What is proposed, not that Russia could do, but has already done and pre-planted around certain strategic coastlines. So anytime you're seeing flurries of quakes like this, and you're seeing things like these kind of shallow as hell depths of earthquakes, you just got to be suspicious. And now I know that Sandy's in there singing the "Don't be suspicious, don't be suspicious." But be suspicious. This is like 4th and 5th dimensional warfare tactics we're talking about here, which we talked about at depth last night on our Warzone Wednesday. So please do check that out if you missed it, right? This is the thumbnail you're looking for. This was the one for the 4th of December yesterday. Right, we went through all of the different warfare tactics, right? The conventional warfare tactics, the 4th dimensional warfare tactics, the 5th dimensional warfare tactics, which include things like cyber, AI, you know, propaganda, information warfare, so on, right? There's a lot to it, right? And we need to catch up with each other, because this is kicking off now, right? More and more every day. Another great thing is all of the things that we need to do to prepare for something like a World War III scenario is ironically all the same sorts of things as we would need to do to prepare for all of the other scenarios that I've listed at length here on my secretprepper.com website. This is on the SHF Intel page, but that's why I laid all these out like that, so we could see that there's a lot of things going on, and if any one of these things happened, by preparing the way you need to for an SHF scenario like a World War III, you're going to be prepared for all those things as well anyway. So there's no reason not to, and I've got to get rid of this black line out here. It's really annoying me, and I'm sure it is you too. Let me sort it out. Ta-da! Sorry, for those OCD people like me out there, you're welcome. Anyway, fighting the USOs, isn't it? Did you see it, Amphi? Were you there on the alien invasion show I did live from the woods and that? Undersea aliens, always a possibility, local prepper. I mean, you know, anyone who's watched Transformers, in it, right? I'm with you, man. I'm with you. San Andreas fault, good one, Della, yeah. Just gonna sink, break off someday. And then sink and tip up. Whoop. What's that movie all about that? Probably called San Andreas, isn't it? I think so, isn't it? Vegas by the sea, Nevada shores, coming soon to a coastline near you. He owns penthouse in high-rise Melbourne. Who's this? A few years ago, he got a crane organised to lift his Ferrari, I think it was. Hoist it up into his apartment so he couldn't get confiscated under who knows. Poseidon, brilliant one. Brilliant one. Don't forget, everyone, right, if you do have, that's the point of that, if you do have some cool films that you think are great to learn from for preparedness and stuff, I made a dedicated room in here in the public lounge area, which is just sort of like stuff like the quotes room to add your quotes in there. Please do contribute with your inspirational and motivational quotes. It's really important. There's the memes room here as well if you want to contribute to that. It's a great laugh if you're having a bad day. But you see here the SHTF themed movies. Right, if you've watched a really good movie that you think people can learn from, there's some here that people have contributed that they've watched and thought, oh wow. That gave me real good insight into this crisis or that crisis and how people went about surviving it or not surviving it. And do you know what I mean? Don't underestimate the usefulness of it. I think there's a couple in me in there, sort of from me in there somewhere as well, maybe. I can't remember. But anyway, it's all there for you so we can share and learn from, right? Even like I say, the point of that was just even down to things like SHTF themed movies that you can learn from. Please go and share them, right? Because I learn stuff from all sorts of places. Like the amount of stuff I learn about efficiency and things from following van lifers. I follow loads of van lifers because you learn so many little tricks and stuff, right? I follow loads of bushcraftsmen. I follow loads of nurse and surgeons, right? So you need to be diversified in your survival knowledge and stuff, because that's the point of being a Sigma prepper, is like, you know, you don't have big families that you can rely on or help you. You don't have big networks of friends that you can fall back on, which is why Sigma prepper goes down really well with a single lone woman, all the way through to, you know, a family of 5 just in normal corporate life who just want to, you know, feel a little bit more safe and got the better chance than anyone else in their town. And it's not that difficult. Well, it is, but it doesn't have to be, right? John C in the house there. Tsunami would be nothing like a tectonic plate moving. Yeah, it would be very localized with a new. Well, I don't know if you had like Della there was just describing, right? Where was it? Della said that at San Andreas fault thing where they predicted it falling in. That's going to create like tsunamis globally, believe me. Like within about 15 hours, there's probably going to be so many coastlines wiped out. Like Japan. Yeah. Hawaii. Places like that. Was it 89, was it? Thank you, Tom. I didn't want to say the year. Was it only a 6.9? I thought it was a 9 point something. In 1989, San Francisco had a 6.9 earthquake called the Loma Prieta. It took many lives. I was right in the middle of it. Wow, Tom, was that the one I was talking about then? Yeah, it must be, because that's about the right time, 1989. And it was the one with the roads pancaked and stuff. Oh, God, that was awful. And I think I was quite young then. And it was just the thought of being stuck in your car under 2 concrete highways that they had in San Francisco that just pancaked and people underneath. Like, imagine the weight of that. I'm sorry, Tom, but let us know if that's the thing I'm thinking of, because it stays with me now, right? All those years later. Nasty. Della's saying off the coast of Northern Carolina as well. Look. But yeah. Yeah. The new Madrid fault will get me, says Robert. Really? Are you in gettable distance for it? 100 megaton one that will flatten the country. 100 megaton is quite a lot. We were looking yesterday on the Warzone Wednesday at what a 750 kiloton, as in 0.75 megaton warhead would do in terms of destructive power. And don't forget the Russian Sarat new ballistic missile delivers 10 of them at hypersonic speed, and each one of them can take out the entirety of New York or London, as we saw. Anyone who was watching the video yesterday will know what I'm talking about. So, I don't even dread to think what 100 megatons is going to look like, right? That's 100 times, well, 150 times a 750 megaton one. Thank you, Della, my darling. Hit the like, subscribe button and share. Really appreciate it. It's the only way this channel is going to get out there is if we share on your social medias. YouTube's doing a pretty good job of holding me back, but it's all good. I'm quite happy to grow slowly. At least we gain genuine subscribers who are genuinely into the content that we talk about, and we're of the same mindset, and we're all about the sort of community and bringing people together and the love and the joy and the fun that we can have while we know that we're going to own the situation when the time comes, right? I love it. Thank you, everyone, for making it happen. Yes, Single Prepper, you are correct. That was the earthquake that did. The freeways and kiln track. Oh man, and it kind of, do you know what I think it was, Tom? I don't know what your age, what do you call it is, right? Your era, should I say? But when I was growing up, one of the films that creeped me out when I was a young boy. I'm in my 40s, right? But when I was a young boy, there was the Superman, you know, the original Superman. Was it the first or second one where Lois Lane's in her car and the earth opens up with the earthquake and she gets trapped in it, and he's so upset by it that he literally turns back time by flying around the world. let me know if I'm just talking nonsense or whether you know what I'm talking about, right? But that was back in the day, and I was devastated by that because I was at that kind of an age where I was quite young, seeing that and her getting like mud falling in her face where she got caught in the earthquake crack in her car, Lois Lane, and obviously Superman Clark Kent was in love with her, so he weren't having none of that. So it's like, hold my beer, right? Spun the world up, turned it backwards, because of course that's how you turn back time. Who knew that, right? Yeah, and dragged her out. I got your girlfriend. Let me know if you know what I'm talking about. Is Maya in the house? Maya just came and say hello to everyone. And do you know what? Everyone say hello to Maya. Our Wolfpack Cub member. Yeah. Thank you so much for being part of our friends, Maya. Really appreciate you being here. See, Kaza remembers. And I see Sandy remembers as well. Oh, Cypher, it's great to see you, my man. Good to see your name pop up. Yes, that time Superman turned back time to save his girlfriend. Exactly right. Now, I think what it is, I think when that was going on, because I was quite a young lad, because that disturbed me quite a lot. I think then when I saw what's on there, unfortunately, you know, respect to you, man, it's must have been scary as hell being in the middle of something like that, right? Me and Mrs. Magic Hand were living in Southeast Asia when the Asian tsunami happened. We were in Thailand, living there when that kicked off, just to give you an idea. So yeah. I know how scary things can get when you're right in the middle of it. Superman trauma, says Happy Limpet. But I think because as a young lad, I'd sort of, not traumatised, but I obviously didn't like that scene of Lois Lane getting crushed in the old earthquake thing with like dirt falling in her mouth was more the thing. It was like, ugh. So it was like, I think when I saw the San Francisco earthquake that Tom there was describing, with the pancake on top of the cars, with the, you know, the lanes of traffic, it was like, oh man, I think it brought back Superman Lois Lane's in the earthquake vibes, right? Bit of PTSD in there, right? Della Sandor, oh my god, I love that Superman movie. I had a t-shirt in middle school. I think I did as well at some point. Look at the love going out to Maya. Look. Thank you, everyone. Happy Limpet, I'm still in therapy. Amazing. Fair point. There is an upper limit. Once you get past 50, you're pretty much done. We're talking about megatons here. But 100 megatons and unstable fault line. Do you know the other problem about the megatons that people should know is that, you know, much of the time, like the Tsar bomb or whatever it was that was tested, they were making it as a 10 megaton warhead. And in fact, it ended up being a 20 or 3 times 30 megaton explosion that they had predicted would be a 10 megaton explosion. It's such an unknown entity. You get all sorts of extra fission and reactions and things happen that you hadn't intended, and it's very difficult to calculate and predict when you get to that scale because you're getting into a whole new level of physics at that point, right? And yet they still go ahead and do these things and give it a go anyway, right? It's quite amazing. Nice, says Local Prepper. Nice. Local Prepper. If you want to be coming on, as a guest and stuff, I'll be opening that up soon. So that'll be cool. Is it just me, or is the amount of quicksand around these days way less than we were taught to expect as kids? Well, not only quicksand, we've got things like sinkholes opening up and stuff as well around the world. We are well overdue. Check it out, man. We're talking about getting streaming ages. We should be in part 2 already. So we need to get out of it. So don't go anywhere because we've got stuff coming up. So I'm not going anywhere. Neither are you. Hit the like button though. Let's get out of the SH. Let's get out of the Intel report. And back to the fire so we can get warm. Let's do it. Thank you, everyone. Really appreciate it. Stay there. Unbuckle your seatbelts, Wolfpack. Unbuckle your seatbelts. I'm back to the Campfire Catch-up, so thank you everyone for enduring the Global Threat Analysis Report as we like to do, just to kick things off and make sure we don't have to run and hide anywhere. grab our bag out bags or our inch bags. Inch bags, yes, I'm never coming home bag. Bigger than a bug out bag. Oh dear. Now it's sinkholes. I'm worried about Cybermen myself. There is no limit to the size of a hydrogen bomb, just the general 6 kiloton yield per kilogram weight of the bomb. Yeah, and again, then delivery becomes a problem because if you're launching it rocket launchers, that's a big lot of payload to lift. If you're doing it, your limited payload to aircraft, and of course, getting anywhere close to something as an aircraft trying to deliver something like that is going to be tricky. You're going to get shot down. So, yeah. Unbuckle and breathe. Phew. So, yeah, we got loads coming up. Don't forget, we got UK Urban Prepper, who did a little donation as well. Chinkable sheets. Thank you, my man. Really appreciate everybody. Laughs me as well for your foldable sheets support to keep the lights on and keep the channel rocking while we're trying to grow against the flow. Yeah. So thank you, everyone. So we're not going anywhere, but when we come back, we'll be catching up with UK Urban Prepper. Who's going to come on as a guest. We're just going to chat about various things that have been going on and whatever you want to talk about. Whatever you want to talk about. Local prepper in the house, welcome to the Discord community. Just join the server. And how much did it cost you, local prepper? Huh? How long did it take and how much did it cost you? Oh yeah, that's it. 5 seconds and no money. So follow his lead. Come and join us on the Sigma Prepper Discord server. It's completely free to join. There's a wealth of information there. Plus, tonight, after tonight's show, we will be having our after party, but instead of it only being for the Patreon VIP supporter members up here with the crowns, because I'm such a nice guy, I know, up until Christmas, we're doing after parties for the general public, so you don't have to be paying 20 cents a day or whatever it is to support me. We can just go live in our after party with voices and sound and everything after the show. So do join us for that. We'll be doing that after we conclude part 2. We haven't even concluded part 1 yet. So don't be going anywhere because we haven't yet. Oh, that's the point. I need to give you some Wolfpack love from me and like it. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Again, a great crew over there. Really appreciate it. There's so much information that everyone's contributing as well. Become a great knowledge base for prepping and survival information, and a great place as well to make new friends of similar minded people, and everyone gets on so lovely. So thank you everyone for that. I couldn't have built it better myself, so thank you. Really appreciate you. Don't go anywhere because we're not, but we are having a 5-minute break so I can go and refill my cup. When we come back, we'll be toasting. We'll be also having UK Urban Prepper on as a guest and loads of other stuff. So in the meantime, don't go anywhere. Get yourself a brew or whatever you're doing, and I'll see you back here in 5.
Welcome to the last show, True is on a break. Just a few minutes is all it's gonna take. But don't tune out, cause there's plenty yet to come. Get yourself a drink, cause we barely just begun. Wait for Sigma Prepper, he'll be back in a few. If you're joining us now, time to pull up a pew. Reject the herd, prepare the pack. Just a couple more minutes and he'll be back. In the chaos of survival, your mind is your shield. When it all goes wrong, it's the wisdom revealed. The tech, the knowledge, the smart preparation. When the crisis comes, we're gonna own the situation. We understand the risks that tomorrow could bring. We adapt and survive, it's a Wolfpack thing. When crisis hits, Sigma Prepper's ahead. The Wolfpack leads with a clear-minded head. No panic, no fear, no beg, no crawl. It's more than just survival, we'll be rising tall. This isn't just preparing, it's thinking through a skill. It's seeing the future, knowing this is not a drill. We don't know where or when disaster will strike, but we know we'll be ready when it's time to fight. In the chaos of survival, your mind is your shield. When it all goes wrong, it's the wisdom revealed. The tech, the knowledge, the smart preparation. When the crisis comes, we're gonna own the situation. We understand the risks that tomorrow could bring. We adapt and survive, it's a wolf pack thing. Use your time wisely, not sure how long we've got. Maybe 2 years, maybe seconds to plan and plot. Too many threats to know which it could be. It could happen right now while Drew's making tea. Learn about prepping, it could happen any day. The wolf pack house come to lead the way. The time ticks down, so get ready with your brew. Like, share, subscribe, come on, you know what to do. In the chaos of survival, your mind is your shield. When it all goes wrong, it's the wisdom revealed. The tech, the knowledge, the smart preparation. When the crisis comes, we're gonna own the situation. We understand the risks that tomorrow could bring. We adapt and survive, it's a wolf pack thing.
Roger, copy that.
Yo, it's Sigma Prepper, where wisdom is the key. We're ready for the future, staying ahead and staying free. When the world goes dark, we won't be shedding a tear. We prep with our minds, never ruled by fear. It's not the list of preps, it's the knowledge we flex. Gaining understanding and solving what's next. No sitting by a fire, eating squirrels on sticks. We'll be navigating chaos using Sigma Prepper's tricks.
In the chaos of survival, your mind is your shield. When it all goes wrong, it's the wisdom revealed. The tech, the knowledge, the smart preparation. When the crisis comes, we're gonna own the situation. We understand the risks that tomorrow could bring. We adapt and survive, it's a wolf pack thing.
SHTF, we break it down smart. From the big picture view to the detail in the parts. Drew Law's got you, his knowledge on tap. Real-time strategy, he cuts through the crap. From the high IQs to the tech we choose. We're ahead of the game, we never gonna lose. We stay prepared, never needing to fight. Join Sigma Prepper and we'll make it through the night.
Preparation's not fear, it's seeing the signs. Reading tomorrow through intelligent minds. Survival's more than just having a plan. It's about how you act when it all hits the fan. Join our Discord where knowledge is prime. The wolf pack's there for you every time. In the chaos of survival, your mind is your shield. When it all goes wrong, it's the wisdom revealed. The tech, the knowledge, the smart preparation. When the crisis comes, we're gonna own the situation. We understand the risks that tomorrow could bring. We adapt and survive, it's a wolf pack thing.
Reject the herd, prepare the pack. We're on a mission, there's no turning back. From crisis to strength, we'll survive the storm. It's knowing you've been able since the day you were born. Survival's an art, we sharpen the blade. We adapt, we survive, we're not afraid. Get yourself comfy for the Sigma Prepper show. The time is counting down and we're nearly good to go. Prepare your mind, cause intelligence is the key. Owning our instincts, we don't freeze, fight or flee. Knowledge is power, it's the ultimate force. No following the herd, we just create a new course. From a single lone woman to a family of 5. Learn from Sigma Prepper and see how you can thrive.
In the chaos of survival, your mind is your shield. When it all goes wrong, it's the wisdom revealed. The tech, the knowledge, the smart preparation. When the crisis comes, we're gonna own the situation. We understand the risks that tomorrow could bring. We adapt and survive, it's a wolf pack thing.
Reject the herd, prepare the pack. Click the like button, it's as easy as that. Check the description for the links you need. Follow my socials, subscribe to my feed. Support me on Patreon to gain the edge. Discounts and freebies, just make a pledge. The countdown's done, it's time to go. Sigma Preppers Live, let's start this show.
Welcome back, Wolfpack. Welcome back. What an effort. You're back with Drew, Sigma Prepper. This is how we do. And of course, part 2, this is how we're doing it. And we have UK Urban Prepper as well with us as the guest tonight. So welcome to UK Urban Prepper. I hope you can hear and see me okay.
Yeah, I can hear and see you. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, okay, sounding absolutely beautiful. Perfectly peaking at about -3 decibels.
Thanks for having me, Drew. It's a pleasure
Absolutely.
to be here as always.
And pleasure and honour always as well, equally. Let me just get myself hooked up here. So what I want to be doing quickly is just... I had your... Daily Survival will be putting the link to your channel in the live chat for us. But yeah, UK Urban Prepper, this is his channel here. Steadily increasing to 7,000 subscribers. Doing a great job over there. Got millions, 500 videos worth. So thank you, Urban Prepper, for being on with us. And thank you for having me as a guest on your show. And obviously, we've had you on here before and everyone loves you anyway. So it's all good.
It's all about the community.
Absolutely, man. Who wrote the lyrics? I wrote the lyrics. Took me 2 weeks. I shouldn't admit to that. I'd add if the dark prank with our snark tank, like it. Very cool intermission. Thank you, my darling. I appreciate that. It's the Wolfpack anthem. I kept the chorus the same on the break time tune as the countdown tune, just to keep the theme running, which I thought worked all right. So thank you. I really appreciate it. When people notice stuff
when are
like
you
that.
going to do the karaoke version live for us, Drew?
Do you know, that was something I considered a long time ago when, I mean, do you know, it started off actually as a couple of quotes from my book and I tried to put them together to make a chorus and then it just went from there. Do you know, I didn't even get time to brew my tea. How about you, Mike? Have you got a new tea or coffee? I'm just stirring it now.
I've got a nice Tim Hortons coffee sat here.
Is it? That sounds much posher than what I'm rocking with.
Yeah, why make it when somebody else can?
Absolutely. Well, do you know, soon our darling Della Sandor, who as well as being a wonderful human being, has also... It turns out I've got 2 spoons here with tea bags on my thingy bob, but she's just ordered herself an official Sigma Prepper mug from the merch store, or 2. Cheers to each and every one of you. Love, peace and progress to the pack. Thank you to UK Urban Prepper Mike for being with us as well. Cheers, everyone. Yummy. Thank you so very much, everyone, for being with us. Thank you, Della. I was thinking about, people had asked me to upload that tune, both of those tunes, as like a separate video so they could, you know, refer to it and things. So I wasn't sure if I would or not. She'll donate 50 sheets, sings it live. Yeah.
I'll sing anything live. 50 sheets.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing you need is a pole and you're good to go, isn't it? Yeah, a pole and 50 quid tucked into your mankini and you're good to go, isn't it? Right?
Stop spoiling my next video.
Yeah. Well, that is the natural progression. You know, you end up on OF and all that, right? Apparently. So it seems to work for some people. What do you make of the show earlier on where we were talking about?
I was involved in that show.
I
was involved in that show and you didn't even know it because I was chatting away to you at the screen, like shouting all sorts, but in agreement.
So, how did you feel about the Funky Prepper thing when we were breaking that down then? Did you agree, disagree?
I'm glad you found that site with that shows that he's monetized. I hope it opens a lot of people's eyes because he's constantly preaching that he's been demonetized in order to raise donations.
Is that really what he's been saying as well, is it?
Yeah, he says it on videos all the time that he's constantly being demonetized, and that's what's spurring these donations coming through. And I hope it just opens some people's eyes because people will give when they've not got it to give.
Yeah,
and I hate he's not in it for the right reasons.
No,
simple as that.
No, and again, as I said on that show earlier on, for those who didn't see it, we're referring to the video you'll see on my channel here with the Go to Jail. It's on the live tab. You'll see it. It seems to be getting some good traction. But yeah, it was basically breaking down the evidence out there. He's a prepper who's spent a long time building his channel, but he's a bit of a, you know, he's not my cup of tea. And it was when he was giving out misinformation and I put in the comments to correct him because the stuff he was talking about was going to get someone unalived, logged out of the admin, let's say, right? And I said, don't be you know, that's 10 times more than they need. You know, that's going to cause harm. And he removed the comment and banned me from his thing. And I was only there because the fourth time somebody had sent me his channel saying, oh, he's copying you and he's trying to do the same as you with this. He's using the same phrases as you and all these other things that he started doing. So I knew that he's one of those fake preppers who are just copying everyone else. They don't really understand it. They're just repeating bad information. You know, I mean, you yourself, Mike, come from a logical programming background to a degree, right? So you understand the bad data in, bad data out concept, right?
Yeah, and you've got to be willing to listen and learn to other people as well. Yeah,
and especially the way I saw it though at the time, that was my first introduction to Funky Preppers. I've put that comment on there, creating him on something. And what really occurred to me when I thought about it afterwards, I'd never been banned from anyone's comments before. I'm not that sort of a guy. Do you know what I mean? I'm full of love, and if I've got something bad to say, I won't say anything at all. Do you know what I mean? I don't even remember ever hitting the dislike button on anyone's video. Do you know what I mean? There's some people like that. There's some people that are not. You know what I mean? It's like, and so I just don't really feel like the only explanation was that he's removed my comment to save his ego at the expense of putting his viewers and his followers at risk by doing things that are gonna be harmful. It's like, wow, if you would rather your viewers get harmed than take the shame. You know what I mean? I knew everything I needed to know at that point, what the style he was, right? You know, what the motivation was.
You've got some awesome moderators in here, in Daily Survival and Sandy. Miss Worm's an awesome moderator for mine. You'll find he's very protected by his moderators. And if you say anything that contradicts anything in his chat, his moderators will have removed it before he's even read it. The chances are I didn't see your comment, and it's the protecting moderators on him.
Well, even a comment on a video. This wasn't in a live chat. This was on one of his videos.
No. They moderate the whole channel.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, and just block people.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it was little things as well that I had a few people say to me, oh God, he's trying to copy you now again. And I'm like, what now? And he sent me a video, and it was just little things like him calling people my lovelies and things, which is quite a unique thing. And when I talk about money, I use the phrase sheets, which again isn't a very common thing to say. And he started using the term sheets for money. It's just weak, man. Do you know what I mean? Don't be copying someone else. You know, be your own version of your own self. You know what I mean? Not like the best version of your own self, rather than trying to copy someone else. So that was where I hadn't seen any videos and never needed to at that point. It's just like, oh my goodness, how has this guy got 139,000 subs? And this is the problem. When you get to that size and you don't actually know what you're talking about, you're a danger to people, because people, unfortunately, they look at 139 subscribers and the psychology there. And again, I spent my life running a media company, doing video production things and managing people's YouTube channels. And the psychology for people is that, you know, someone like me who's got like 800 odd, 900 odd subscribers, despite my previous and other channels and things like that, right? But they view 800 subscribers and then they view 139,000 subscribers, and the assumption is, oh, he must know what he's talking about. More people want to follow him than follow them, and so on. Do you see what I'm saying? It's like a confirmation bias. It's like a herd mentality, because you think, well, if 139,000 other people trust this dude, then maybe I should too. Do you see that? Even though there's reasons why someone will have more subs than the other, how long they've been going, or how suppressed they are, or so on.
I could say lots of things. I'm trying to bite my tongue a little bit, but he organises his own prepper meet. He set up a tent, and then he stayed in a bed and breakfast all weekend. Amazing. That tells me everything I need to know about somebody who's prepared.
And you know, ultimately what it comes down to is the whole point of being a good survivalist, strategist, prepper, and everything else that you need to be to go with it is rule number one: don't be in prison when it hits the fan, because during the apocalypse, the prison's about the last place you want to be. So he's kind of failed at the first hurdle. If that is the case, I'm just saying, that's the assumption that everybody has made with the evidence that I put forward and the reasoning behind it, because no one seemed to be able to tell me where I was wrong in my analysis of it that we did live. But and yeah, it's a tricky one, right? But you know, I like honesty, I like accuracy, and I like truth, right? So when I see stuff going on and people making excuses for things, it's like, no, that's patently wrong. It's evidently provable that that's not the case, so what is it really? You know what I mean? And the only reason that if that is the case and one was to lie about that and pretend that that isn't the reason why they haven't been able to make videos, would be because they're probably concerned that if people found out that that was the situation he was in, people would feel wary of wanting to be subscribed to him, wondering if perhaps they'll be looked at negatively by the intelligence services or security services of the country, going, oh, well, maybe anyone who's following that person is going to be on a list or something like that. And it makes people uncomfortable, doesn't it? And people like rats off a sinking ship. And he probably knows that's probably what will happen if people find out what's really been going on. And that's not me saying that. That's just what word on the street, what's being talked about. So let's get that straight, right? We don't know. But what we do know is what's not the case, which is YouTube's banned him. They haven't. That's the key thing. So why, you know what I mean? So there's quite a lot wrapped up in there.
There's lots to be read into. What's going to be interesting is when he does come back, if what Vob said is accurate and he's back mid-January, what tall tales he will spin and what web of lies he will weave to explain his absence will be interesting. I think we should do a full breakdown video after he comes back to see.
Well, the first thing that happens when he comes back is he's invited on the show as a guest on the Sigma Prepper show, and we can talk about it.
He wouldn't even touch my Prepper podcast. I invited him, but he knows I'll be brutally honest.
The fact that he couldn't even let his subscribers see one of my comments just in case they went to go and see my channel and see what it's all about, right, and be called out. There's no way he's coming on anyone's show, man, unless they're proper butt buddies, right?
No, you've got to have over 100,000. He will go on other channels. He's had other people on his channels, and he'll go on others. But you've got to have the numbers, you know. Got to be part of the YouTube elite, Drew.
There's got to be something. This the Whiffam syndrome. The what's in it for me?
Yeah.
If there's nothing in it for me, sorry, I'm busy. Like
Speaking
the same
of that,
mentality.
when am I getting paid for this? No,
Well, it's difficult to calculate. It's a little bit like Bill Gates, where he has to question himself. Is it even worth bending down to pick up that $5 bill? Because the time it would take me to bend down and pick it up, I would have earned $10. So maybe I'll just leave it there. Yeah. This is the problem. It's just, you know, difficult to calculate. It's such a high amount, right? Dirty faces in the house. Great to see you. I bet your face isn't really dirty. I bet it's clean as you like. Don't call me baby. I'll be on both your channels. Say when.
I was just going to say, yeah. Local Prepper, send me an email. You're more than welcome to come on the Prepper podcast.
Well, do you know, I think welcome to Embassy as well, joining the server, and the Wolfpack over there on the Discord community server. Really appreciate it. Go and have some fun in there. Go and check out all the wealth of information that everyone's
Local Prepper's on there. He can message me on there.
Yeah, and in fact, Daily Survival had sent me behind the scenes in our secret bat phone Local Preppers channel, which looks like this. So thank you for sharing that. And again, I think she's put the link in the chat. So yeah, man, it's a good little crew. Good little crew. Yeah. I'll tell you what, I wasn't expecting the first half to be quite as long as it was. And of course, after already been doing like God knows how long on that other video as well, plus last night's show, plus the after party for last night's show, plus the after party that's coming after this.
When do you sleep, Drew?
Sleeping, I find, is an extremely inefficient use of time. I can sleep anytime I want after I'm dead, obviously. So it's just like, you know. It's the same as eating. Ideally, when I'm in development mode, when I'm bringing a product to market or I'm designing something like I've got over there for survival gadgets and stuff I'm making, even eating to me seems like an inefficient use of time, Mike. I'd actually rather just have an intravenous drip or something, just so I can carry on doing my stuff, you know what I mean, and not have to stop and break the flow. Yeah, I'm not a workaholic or anything. I'm actually really lazy, but not. I don't do anything but work.
I enjoy my food, but you can hook the coffee up to my veins any day. That'll do.
Is it? Oh man, I'm on the tea all day, every day. At least 20 cups of 20-ounce mug tea. Cheers, everyone. Cheers, Mikey Poos.
How much tea have you got prepped?
Fuck me, don't even ask. Do you know what? We had to get the central heating sorted out recently, which wasn't something we could afford to do, but equally couldn't afford not to do, Mike, because the prices of electricity in the UK when it comes to heating is just astronomical. So last winter it was a real struggle, but we used electric heaters, but we probably paid about £1,200 in energy bill more than we should have done if it had just been using the gas central heating. So it's one of them like, oh man, you got to spend the money to not have to have a £1,200 electric bill. So, but while I was messing around trying to find the thing for the boiler cupboard, in the cupboard there is another space crammed full of like food and stuff, and I think there must be like 320. I haven't got any of this. This is Mrs. Sigma Prepper who's responsible for this, right? She knows that it's going to be bad news if there's no tea and it's hitting the fan. Right.
Yeah, that's beyond the apocalypse if the teas are around.
Oh, check it out. So Veteran Life Adventures. Latest subscriber. Welcome to the Wolfpack, my man. Thank you for being here. I'll say, my man, veteran could equally be male or female or an in-betweener. You know, we welcome anyone here. We welcome all the dregs of society here. I'm only joking. Daily and Sandy are such good mods that are fair and allow all views. Yeah, we don't like censorship. That's why this channel is struggling so bad, because of things like censorship, right? Even though I'm such a good boy. Thank you, Della. Hats off to Urban for going live. Give us some critical knowledge stuff, man. Isn't there some saying there's no rest for somebody? I have plenty of rest, man. It's just I have weird sleeping pattern where I'll go to sleep at like 6 in the morning where I've been up through all the night, and then I'll wake up at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon and do it all over again. Do you know what I mean? So I don't have less or more sleep than anyone really. It's just I don't really... Sometimes I can be going for like 20 hours without stopping. Do you ever get into that zone with projects you're working on, Mike? Or do you
when I used to do web development, you put the headphones on, you put a playlist on, and just time disappears.
Yeah, absolutely.
Next thing you know, the birds are tweeting.
Let me ask you, what kind of tunes would you have on when you were doing web design work? Because I built a business in Thailand doing web design, and it kind of varies. But yeah, is there a particular type?
You know, I like all music, so it would depend on the website. My go-to was metal, though.
Oh, really? Do you know, it's funny, which is completely the opposite from you, but for doing web design type work, if it was pure programming, right, it would be more like atmospheric drum and bassy type thing, liquid drum and bassy type thing, quite mathematical, not any words to be distracting, you know what I mean? But enough of a pace to be like, you know. But with web design, when I'm doing, it's really weird. It should be the opposite. But if I'm doing creative writing or copywriting as part of a project, I would have something like Craig David's 7 Days album or something going, where there's like singing, even though you think you wouldn't want singing when you're writing. You know what I mean? But I definitely have different genres for different things.
And on a prepping point of view, it's a great thing to have if people haven't done it.
Big time.
Just fill a USB stick with music and have that as part of your preps, because that can make a difference. Yeah,
I've got a tiny little thing, like it's like this big, right? And you put it's got a tiny little LCD screen on it. It was about £20 from AliExpress or something, right? And you just shove an SD card in it. I think I've got 128 gigabyte SD card in there. It's got a bunch of albums and music on there. So worst case, I've got a Bluetooth speaker, which is pretty efficient with the power. You know, it's just USB chargeable, little USB micro port, and it lasts for ages. So with a small little $20 thing and a decent MP3 speaker, as well as obviously headphones if you're trying to be stealth and that. But yeah, you're right, man. The morale lifter of having music. In fact, my AI Tia voice thing, which is sitting down here, right? That's the first bunch of programming code that I've completed on her. That's her there. This is the MP3 sound module. This is the SD card that's got all her voice samples on for me to make her talk. This is the main processor and touchscreen here. This is work in progress. This area here just deals with transmitting and turning on and off the PTT of ham radio and some other bits and pieces. And then I've got audio comes in as well from the ham radio, and this detects the dual tone modular frequencies like boop, 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 boop on the keypad, so I can talk to Tia via keypad commands from a distance and all this kind of stuff. So anyway, but the first thing that I've got figured out perfectly on her is in fact my MP3 morale boosting playlist element of her. Since obviously it's already got an MP3 decoder to do her voice, it made sense to whack a folder of like 300 albums or whatever I've got of tunes on there, of something of everything. Do you know what I mean? So in the absolute disaster hits the fan, to be able to put some tunes on, like a proper uplifter, innit? You know what I mean? And separate from not relying on your smartphone with your Spotify and all that business.
Yeah.
We need to make that clear, don't we, Mike? Right? Don't think that, if the internet, when it hits the fan, your grid's going down, your internet's going down, you need to maintain your battery charge and stuff for your phone. You can do that with USB ports in your car cigarette lighter, in your car, with a little solar panel.
I'm hoping Santa brings me a USB vinyl player this
Oh,
Christmas. Yeah? And that's going to be my next library of vinyls for SHTF.
Cheers to that. I don't know what I want for Christmas. Is you.
I keep an eye out every time I go to, there's Bygone Times near me, which is a huge antiques place, because I want to find a gramophone that actually works on the wind up, no power whatsoever.
Right.
A working
cool.
gramophone. That'd be good.
Yeah, man. The old school version of that is one of them little things you wind up and there's a little steel thing, ding, dig a ding, dig a ding, dig a ding, dig a ding, where it like plugs the thing, right? Oh, Carolyn there, look. I love bopping along with a love tune in the car, and it's such a spirit uplifter. Daily Survival there. Yeah, in my original prep list that I put out years ago, I had a whole section there, morale, with lots of ideas of things like that. It's definitely, an MP3 player, but an MP3 player that you can use, like, despite, without mobile phone. That's why I say about having the Bluetooth speaker, which has got its own battery in it, you can recharge. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
From 5 volt, and again, your MP3 player just being a standalone thing that doesn't require the internet, with an actual SD card with actual music on it. Otherwise, it doesn't count, does it, Mike? In a crisis.
Well, this is it. I mean, it's amazing how many preppers and how many prepper channels talk about water, food, skinning a deer, everything you need. No, not many talk about entertainment. And if you've got children, or even if you've not got children, you've got older family that live with you, just try 24 hours or 48 hours without power and see how bored they get, how quickly.
Yeah, I was fortunate enough to be thrust into that inadvertently, living in Thailand. I think I mentioned before, is like very unreliable grid system when you live on a little island in the Middle East, in the Southeast Asia, versus somewhere like the UK, where when you turn the power on, it's just on, right? You don't have to worry about that. But yeah, you're right. Especially when you're running a business that relies on being online and, doing graphic design, web design, things like this, or whatever it might be on your computer. When there's no power, it means you can't do any work, right? So the first thing I did when I was there was to boost up my uninterruptible power supply with just a whole stack of 12 volt gel cells in parallel. Do you know what I mean? To extend the power and extend the time that I could keep going when the power went out. But it was usually about the same time. It was usually about 6:30, 7 p.m. The power would just suddenly go out because everyone got home from work and got in the shower and put the air conditioning on. You know what I mean? And the town power supply just couldn't handle it. It just turned off. And so, yeah, you start to realise how much you use it for everything. And, we had a standalone gas cooker there, which had its own Cala gas tank next to it, one of those tall ones. So we wouldn't feel it. And that was just the norm. And I think this is where people say, isn't it? If the grid went down, like, people in Africa just wouldn't notice in some places of Africa.
No, of course not. I mean, it's a luxury there. We've just become so dependent on it's unreal.
Yeah. Yeah. So they wouldn't even notice the apocalypse. They'd just be business as usual. Bidney. Whoosh, Bidney a usual. Right? Is what they would be. Whereas we're all struggling around, like, with our hair on fire because we can't log into Facebook.
Even in the more built up populated areas, like in South Africa, I did a podcast with a South African prepper, And even there, where it's more city, it's more modern. It's they still have 3-4 day blackouts sometimes, and they have power supply issues, so they're all used to it anyway.
Right. Yeah, and it is good. I mean, when we lived in Cyprus, for example, like 3 or 4 years or whatever, we were there, and our son was born in Cyprus, but the time period that we were there, they turned the water off. There was a water shortage in the country, and the government turned the water off for 4 days a week. So you had water for 3 days a week, and then the other 4 days you turn the tap and nothing comes out. Lich. Imagine that for like a year, maybe 15 months, nearly a year and a half that went on. Every week the power getting turned off, and the only reason they stopped doing it was because they were just rupturing the pipes. You know, when you turn the water off from the municipality water going everywhere, all the pipes underground drain down slowly, and then 4 days later, when the government turns them all back on again, this rush of high pressure water goes down these pipes that are usually kept at a consistent pressure of water. Do you know what I mean? So they just ended up causing more damage than good, losing more water because they were just rupturing pipes where they were turning the water on and off, on and off, on and off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, again, just fuck it, just leave it alone, just leave it. Just leave it. You know? Ah. It's so annoying. But again, living through that, you really appreciate water. You appreciate how difficult actually it is to store large amounts of water. You know, we were lucky to be in a bungalow, and the owner of our property, as many people did, just had bigger storage tanks put on the roof. You know, like the gravity storage tanks, so like the pumps pumping it up into them, and then when you use a tap, it's coming out of them, and then when the power turns off, you would see people, Mike, on their roofs of their houses with fucking 6 or 7 of these humongous things on the roof. It's like, I don't think that roof's designed for that amount of weight, right? You're talking each one of them's like a ton. Do you know what I mean? And so all that would happen is people use the same amount of water, but when the government turns the water back on the Sunday, I think it was, you would have all this rush of water because it was just filling everyone's tanks up on their roofs from where they've been drained down over the last 4 days of not having water. It's just like, oh.
Someone's genius idea that was never thought out.
And do you know what the problem was though? Is but at the same time, the government have these sprinklers going all around the government buildings, sprinkler water with the grass, even when the water's turned off for everyone else. If you're doing stuff like that, Mike, you're asking for trouble. When you're making everyone have to go through what you have to go through, imagine how inconvenient it is turning a tap on or a faucet if you're in America. You turn a faucet on and nothing comes out, right? People aren't used to dealing with that. Do you know what I mean? It's not something they've been used to dealing with, let alone for a year and a half, right? So it's such an inconvenience, and so, but it wasn't solving anything because, like I say, people just ended up putting loads and loads of tanks on the roof, and so the amount of water that was being used by the people was exactly the same, if not more, because of the ruptured pipes leaking. You know? It's just like...
Just not regular, just in bursts of let's fill all these tanks at once.
Yeah, it's silly. We've got a strict one book in, one book out policy because we've run out of room. Are we talking about libraries? I don't know what's going on. I'm still looking for... Talking about what?
Christmas.
Oh, really? Yeah, Christmas. So what do I want for Christmas?
3-level nuclear bunker with its own launch pad.
Well, actually, to be honest, my business plan, so to speak, was for this channel to be monetized by the new year, right?
We'll get you there.
I started this channel in 2022, and it flew up and then stopped. And it was like, oh, here we go. They know who I am. They've recognized me. And it's like, you know, and it's been a struggle since then, but I've just keep pushing forwards. And then like recently, last year, towards the end of last year, I started writing this book that I'd started years before that, and padded out and got all the stuff in there. And then recently I thought I'm going all in on it, and it's become like 300 pages, 20 chapters or something. And so I've been working on that constantly since like maybe October last year, behind the scenes. And then more recently it was like, you know what, I just need to continue doing the videos as well as writing the book in the background, because that was what I was doing before. I was making videos all the time, and then I stopped and got a bit dismayed at the fact that I was being held back so bad. and they removed my domain name from coming up on search engines. I think it's starting to become reinstated now. But I was a bit disheartened, Mike. You know, I know it's easy to do as a creator. You put a lot of work into your art, and it's like, you know, you finish an oil painting that's taken you weeks and weeks of dedicated work and sleepless nights to create, and then YouTube comes along and just slashes it with a Stanley knife as soon as you finished and said, not good enough. You know what I mean? Yep. That's kind of how it feels as a creator, right? And so, definitely. But I thought, no, I've got to fight through that. I've got to pick up the bootstraps, you know, and just start back to basics, just do the daily videos while I'm writing the book, do you know what I mean? So that otherwise there's no one there to benefit from the book if I've only got like 100 subscribers, right? So, you know, you've got to have both. And of course I'm on fumes. I ran out of money a year ago building this business, and so I've invested a lot in like the products you see here and things like the Ultimate Hotspot, which is another product that did great, and one of my designs, and I've put a lot of money into that. I've got stock of that sitting there, which is, you know, hundreds of pounds worth of stock that I've put in before getting anything out.
Well, I know the feeling.
But that's why, Mike, and I'm sure you'll feel the same way, because people only see that swan on the surface gliding along. They don't see under the surface, them feet going like the clappers, right? Is why you're supposed to manifest it, aren't you, Mike? When things take off, and I've got all my products to market and everything's going great and all these other things, sponsorship deals, blah, 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 some ad revenue coming in, and a great Wolfpack team, and the VIP patrons is a great way to build a community that are tight peeps. You know, I want to keep that going. When the budget's there, it just becomes, there's so many more ways you can help people. That's my restriction right now. Do you see what I'm saying? And because I have to do everything myself, whatever time I'm spending on doing this detracts from me getting my my ultimate harvesting kit complete, or my ultimate security and communications kit finished, or things like my tactical intelligence assistant Tia, you know, with all that stuff for the mobile security system that she is. Not to mention my sentry turret, which obviously I showed you on the night I came on your channel, wasn't it, as a guest, right, as to what sort of shit I got going on. That kind of stuff would just be like Elon Musk style. It would just like bosh, 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 bosh. You know what I mean? It would all just get done, you know? So I'm just having to be really, really strict with myself in terms of what I'm working on is in order of what's going to be able to keep me going on fumes long enough until we get to the point where it's sort of self-sustaining economically, do you know what I mean? And when it's not even monetized, there's no super chats, there's no nothing. But I'm really thankful for the VIP Patreon members, and you being one of them as well, Mike. I know you've got memberships running on your channel, haven't you? How many members have you got anyway? Is it a nice little group you got going there?
There's 21 in the members, but
that's a nice number.
I really appreciate it, and it supports the channel, but I find there's not much to give back on YouTube with the members. I'd like what you've done with the Patreon and having the VIP section in the Discord. I think that's a great way of communicating with them all. Yeah. So I need to really put some thought into that, I think, at some point. So, but the support you get is unreal. But I mean, people don't realize on the surface. This is what I said in a recent video. On the surface, like the cost of software, the cost of running things, editing, time, the what goes into like a single video. Yeah, people don't realize.
Well, that's what I mean about the work under the sea, behind the background. The same as like the 340 pages of my Ultimate Prepping Guide book. Again, people got no idea how long I've spent just over like 1 or 2 images. You know what I mean? And even things like my intro tunes, music, and break time music, you know, I spent 2 weeks on that, like hours every day, writing the lyrics and doing the production and all the sound design for it. And people, like, if people were to know what I went through to create some of these things, they'd be like, "Are you crazy, man?"
Yeah. Definitely not minimum wage.
No, but you see, the way I justify it though, and again, as a solopreneur, somebody who sort of, again, falls in line with the Sigma thing, right? You know, I've never had money. I didn't come from a rich family or anything to be able to just go, Bosh, get it done for me, and pay people to make my website, pay people to design my products, pay people to work out how to use a CNC machine, pay people to do the math. in the programming I need. Because I've never had that budget, I've just had to learn to do everything myself. And by doing that, you know, you become good at solving problems, right? But there does come a point in time where it's like, I need help. I couldn't do what I do now without Chrissy, Daily Survival, and Sandy as moderators and friends and confidants and protectors of me. I mean, Daily Survival protects me from myself, goddammit, let alone other people, right? Do you know what I mean? And so there's certain people that I already feel indebted to, along with the VIP patrons that have continued to support me. I mean, I'll be breaking 10 Patreon members at some point soon. But the other thing I like about Patreon as well, though, Mike, is that you can do the behind-the-scenes videos and only certain tiers or only the Patreon members see those videos, you know.
This is what I thought about with the members on YouTube, and I just think, right, I'm struggling to edit and get all the content out. Do I really want to add another stream of videos?
Well, and the thing is, well...
or do I just give you all the clippings off the cutting room floor? Here's all the stuff.
Yeah.
There'll just be an hour-long video of me going, and I've edited it out.
I mean, there's quite a few ways with Patreon that you can give value to it. Like, so for example, when I'm done with my ebooks and my full-on 300-page prepping guides and things, I mean, these are like, you know, $40 to $300 type download value things compared to what's out there in the market. But I want to be doing it so that if you're like if you're an elite or higher or something like that member, then you get that free. Yeah. And things like this. And so, and again, people, even if they're just doing the $6 a month, 20 cents a day or whatever it is, nowadays, what's that, 1 cup of coffee a month, right? To support me, they get access to the VIP members area where we have our after parties, and people really value that because it's rare that you get to be able to talk one-on-one with the creator, with the guy who's written the book. Do you know what I mean? You just ask him any question, like anything. It's like, yeah, man, like it's just us here, right, on the voice chat, and people really enjoy that because it's a two-way thing. And I tell you, I love it as well, Mike, because you know how cool it is for me when I see this list of people here. This is my window that I use to, you know, highlight people's, and sorry everybody has been ignoring it, but it's when I see these names in here, Miss Worm, and you know, but it's when like Purple Flurple, we've had hour-long conversations in after parties. She knows what I sound like, I know what she sounds like, right? Yeah, there's loads of our VIP members where we get to talk to people and
you broke that fourth wall.
Left me and that. Yeah, and so when I see their names, though, it's like they have more of a personality and a character to me. That's what makes it more of a two-way family thing where they can tell me
I think in a similar
their
way,
problems and we can come up with solutions.
I think that's in a similar way. That's why I started the Prepper podcast. It wasn't just to get other YouTubers on. I was hoping, like any preppers watching my stuff, can send me an email or a message saying, oh, I prep and I'm a specialist in microgreens, or whatever they decide they want to do, can come on the podcast and do it with me. And that was my way of kind of talking to them. You're braver than me, though, inviting them all into a room. I think I'd have too many trolls in there.
We have had one troll. It's the first time we've ever had to literally kick someone from the server over 3 years of the server running. But this is it. You see, you don't find that. This is why it's always worked well with the VIP, even if they're just, you know, on the lowest, like $6 a month or whatever Patreon VIP subscription, they still get access to the after parties in the voice chat rooms.
Like I'm in
right?
the cheap seats. Yeah, sorry.
But you just don't tend to get trolls. Trolls typically don't even have a job, so they haven't got any. They, you know, and I think I made this joke before. It's a little bit like the difference between going on holiday to Benidorm versus going on holiday to something like Mauritius. It's just a different type of clientele because, you know, the super cheap holidays, and I'm sure people in America, well, the equivalent for them will be certain places in Mexico where you go and it's like the cheapest resorts that the most redneck Americans go to. And, you know,
I can relate. I went to Spain for a week with my ex and our kids, and didn't realize halfway.
Benidorm type place.
No, it was a really nice resort, right? It was really nice, and it was quiet, and it was a nice pool and that. But halfway through this week, what started? The Sun £9.50 holidays.
Oh man!
So like it was for the first 3 days, it was beautiful. Wednesday, you've never seen. It looked like the contents of Liverpool just emptied on this beach.
Really? Shell suits and girls with 6 different looking kids, all apparently hers, different baby daddies. That kind of a £9.50 for your holiday.
Yes.
Oh man, let me know live in the chat if you know what we're chatting about. Dear oh dear, it's about time you hit the like button as well. Don't be rude, just do it. Come on, Mike's in the house. Urban Prepper representing in the UK. I don't know what I'm representing. The Sigmas in the world who, don't really fit into any other category. Do you feel like you're a bit of a Sigma personality? You're more of an alpha or a beta or what? Where do you fit into all that, man?
I'd like to say alpha.
Really?
Generally, try to. I don't really run solo with many things. I've always had something. I've managed football teams. I've always been in charge or leading something.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing. You'll find as well, most people who've had a military background like you have, Mike, who tend to be made into that. Oh, sorry to say, but as in, the whole point of like military, a lot when people come to prepping from the military, a lot of where it goes wrong for normal people listening to people like that is, if you don't mind me saying, and tell me if you disagree, right? What I've tended to find with people who've come to prepping and survival from a military background, when they keep going on about military all the time as though it's some sort of a certification, is what they're trained all about is working as a team. Is having their guys they can rely on to have their back. Is having their guys that are equally as trained as they are. Is having their guys to be the ones going over the mountain first. You see? And to limit your ability to be flanked. Now, in real life, it's completely irrelevant. All of that stuff is the opposite. The complete opposite from what you need to survive in an actual real life situation for normal people on the street, because you're not going to be in a position where you're going to have the guys around you and the competency around you that you need to operate the way you've been trained in the military. Are you with me? Yeah,
I think you can take lessons and you can take like small things, and levels of discipline is a good teacher from the military. But I know what you're saying. It's not a solo thing. It's not a if you're stuck in a situation, even if you've got a mag, even if you've got a great group of people, even if you've got a mini army, you might be in a situation where you're nowhere near them.
Yeah, and the other thing as well,
won't happen when you want it to.
yeah. I mean, I think one of the things that people mention about what makes me different as a prepper and stuff like this is that I'm a polymath and autodidact, so I'm sort of experiencing a lot of different things that most people are like good at one or two things. Do you know what I mean? And so it's quite a broad range of things. And what you'll find is that, for example, even in the military, it's very much a compartmentalized structure where you're infantry, or you're a gunner, or you're a tank driver, or you're a sniper, or you're a combat. Do you know what I mean? Whereas in a real life scenario, you need to be able to be all of those people. Not in one, but kind of in one. Because if you're going to lead a team that's your family and your kids and your neighbours, do you know what I mean? You're better off not having that complacency to think that those people are going to do what you say to do and understand the terms you're going to be using that you used to use back with your army mates back in the day. Fuck all that.
Do you know who's going to be best off? The instructors, because they know how to teach people them things.
Well, do you know, as I said, though, it'll be people like who I was living next door to in Thailand when we lived there on a little island, who had their own chickens in the backyard. I don't even think they fucking had electricity even hooked up to their house. It was like, do you know what I mean? And they got their own well in the garden, and, their guttering on the side of their building was literally made out of 7-Up bottles cut in half. Nice. Like, cylindrical and like stacked. This is... genius as hell, man. Genius as hell. I love Thailand for that. Because it's like, wow, man, back to basics. They're so resourceful. I saw, like, Thai people would say, Ging Mak, which means, like, super intelligent. They call me that all the time. But for me, looking at that stuff is intelligent. Let alone stuff that see me doing over there when we were doing. when I see that stuff, that's a level of genius that I really appreciate, because that simplicity of being resourceful, they're the people that are going to do well. Do you know what I mean? Because they just make stuff out of stuff. Yeah?
Yeah.
And Thailand is still very much that culture, Mike, where people are still... Like, there was a 5-year-old girl who used to walk past me and Mr. Sigma Prepper's house every morning with a massive water buffalo that was like 4-ton... A 4-ton animal with these humongous horns on it, and this girl's literally in her flip-flops and a pair of shorts, and she must be 5 or 6 years old with a lead. That's how they grow up, man, taking this water buffalo to the beach to have a swim about, and then Magic Hand, Mrs. Sigma Prepper would take our dog to the beach, and she'd see the bison or the water buffalo just like lounging about, you know, wading underwater up to its back. It's nice and cooling, I suppose. But when you see how kids grow up in that environment, Mike, you realise that these are hardy, mate, way hardier than anyone you meet in the West. You know what I mean? And so people who have only ever lived in England or something like that, or America, and not experienced how gnarly things can get. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And it's like, and you see what it really takes, and the people that do well, and how little people need. It makes you feel like a weakling in comparison. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I'd probably kill myself instantly if I went to Africa, or I'd just burn alive somewhere, or I'd step on something that I shouldn't have done. You know what I mean?
Australia, there's too many crawly things.
Exactly. Everything's trying to kill you over there. Fucking hell.
Over here, this is why I always encourage people to test things, because put yourself in situations. Even like if you turned your power off in your house for 48 hours, just do it as a trial. Yeah. Why not? You know?
Yeah, totally.
And you're always going to have that safety net. Now, when I did my 90-mile walk, I got to the top of the national parks on the Pennines, and I was at a point.
Do you have to say it twice? If you're going to say 90-mile walk, you need to make sure people know how far that is.
90 effing
and
miles.
As well, just another bit of advice as well, Mike. Do it in kilometers, because it sounds even more.
I'm not doing the conversion right now, but anyway, I got to the top of this where this national park is, and I've took a video. Part of my video that I've done for it, in the middle, you'll see just a panning shot around, and there was nothing, literally nothing, no houses, no cars, nothing. At that point, I had no signal on my phone. My water was running low, and I literally got that sudden feeling that came over me, like this could be it. This could be the end of me. And that's the first time in a long time I felt like that, where I've not had that safety net.
Wouldn't that have been a bit embarrassing though? I've always felt like that. Please don't tell me this is how I'm going. You know,
well, I had a life straw in my bag. I'd have survived, but it was just the sudden realization that you're not in a controlled environment. Mm-hmm. And that's what's going to get most people in SHTF, because right now they're playing prepper. They're playing survival. Yeah.
And that's where I learned so much doing the bushcraft camps, man. You know, like you with your hike, where you're literally in the middle of nowhere and you can't just call a cab, or you can't just go to the shop or whatever. Do you know what I mean? It's like, nah, I'm drinking water out of that lake tonight and tomorrow, whether I like it or not, because I've brought no water with me on purpose to force me, to use my water filter, to use my carbon filter, to use my... You know what I mean? The stuff I've come up with, and then put it to the test and drink it and see, do I have the runs for day after that? Do I end up with blue blotches coming up? Or, do you know what I mean? Unless you test it, you know, in the wild.
You know, or you pack a tent that you didn't realise the kids had took the fly sheet off. So when you set it up, there's a giant hole in the top.
Yeah.
So then I had to use a poncho as a rig, as a tarp. So I had to improvise. It's just nice to be put in that situation, not in a controlled environment.
Yeah, thank you to John C. Mike. Look, 145 kilometers. That's like little finger number worthy, that is. Because that's 140. Yeah. Even better, Mike. Do you know that Mike from the UK Open Prepper walked over 145,000 meters? There you go.
And the community on YouTube raised over £1,200 for charity for me doing that. So
even
they're
better.
the heroes.
Do you know that's over 1,000? Do you know that's over 12,000 pennies raised? Oh, dear. Thank you, everyone, for being with us. I do appreciate you all. Do you know, I did feel a bit nervous doing the old Funky Prepper video, I've got to say, because that's what people talk about. Because it's really difficult to sort of I don't like putting anyone down. I don't like making accusations, but I just think it's important because so many people are making crazy accusations that at least let's just bring some rational, critical thought to it and just see what we think, right? So just in case anyone's got an issue with the way I dealt with it, that's kind of how I was trying to position it. And and with my full disclosure as well about the fact that he banned me off his channel for trying to correct him on some misinformation. Sorry. Sorry.
Anyone that does want to critique, Funky has an open invitation to both of our channels to come and talk to us anytime he likes.
Yeah, man. We could do a tag team. We could have a threesome.
Oh no!
Who is this? Oh,
mental image.
God, that was nearly the same reaction as Jeremy Clarkson seeing the new Jaguar branding.
Oh.
Oh man, have you seen the new car, the Jaguar 00? Is it or something 01?
Yeah, it looks like a Thunderbird's car.
In it, yeah, like the sort of thing old matey boy Sadiq Khan would be driving. Doesn't he look like matey boy off Thunderbirds?
Yeah.
Is it Parker? Is it?
Yeah. Parker, yeah.
They made it just for him.
Horrid. Yeah.
Drew. Oh, talking of Thunderbirds, look, Drew got a ventriloquist in. He's good, isn't he? You can see his lips move at all. Sorry, this is my fault, Flat Cap Gaming. It's because I haven't replaced my guest scene things I used to have rocking, and I changed it all about and upgraded this whole show, and now it doesn't got the guests slot in there so you can see Mike and have the name under there, which you'd normally have. So I do apologise. But the ventriloquism isn't me. There's no hand up my... Ooh. Ooh. There's no hand... I ain't no one's puppet. The UK Funky Sigma. Don't even use the UK or the Funky anywhere near Sigma. Thank you. I can't believe it. They're giving Khan a knighthood. I know. But that was part of the deal. New Jag, Tron meets Bruno, Sasha Bow and Karen. Yeah, it's not done well, is it? I had a bunch of stuff here that I was supposed to be, we were supposed to be talking about.
The price of it as well?
No, I haven't. Is it? I didn't even know there was a price proposed.
138,000.
Is it? Wow. Just ludicrous, man. It just doesn't make any sense. You're into animals and that, aren't you? And doggies and that?
It's hard to answer a question like that. It feels like a trap.
No, it's just I got this video that I didn't show earlier.
Go for it.
And I forgot I had it. Look at this sheepdog, man. Dogs are amazing, man. We don't deserve to have dogs. Look at the way this thing rounds these sheep up, like instantly, man. Respect due. Look, straight round the back that misses. Just knows the score, just immediately. Look, on the way. And you see him darting about in the back. He's not just doing it thingbob, he's properly making decisions all the way. Look, he's going backwards and forwards, he knows where he needs to go. It's amazing, man. How do you even teach that stuff? And all the old... This is nasty, though. Check out the mud. Anyone who's a bit squirmish with mud. Close your eyes now. I literally know people who are like, oh, the thing about going in the woods and bugging out is like getting dirty and stuff. It's like, yeah. Tell these sheep about that. Look at him just sitting there. And watch when he's finished. And he gets told he's allowed to come back up. Boom, and up she comes. Anyway, I just love to show people how wonderful animals are on this wonderful planet that we live on. Beroy Sam Sip Hot Cap, Sandy. Confirmed. Isn't Bex on the list too? Parker is one of the Oasis Galactic. Where are we talking about here? I don't know what's going on in there. Do you know what's going on in there?
I think we're still talking about the Jaguar car.
Was it? Okay, right, yeah. Okay. Back in the room. Isn't it beautiful as hell, Purple Flurple? Daisy's liking it as well. My cat is not impressed as Miss Worm. Oh, man. I mean, you know, Hugo Bear. Don't think that Hugo Bear isn't equally as, you know, controlled as that.
He could round up a few ducks, I'm sure.
Couldn't he? Yeah, a bit of Clown World. Bit of Clown World for us today. So you know the old inhalers for asthma and that, look. The NHS has estimated that inhaler emissions account for about 3% of its carbon footprint. So guess what? GPs told to stop prescribing them. Because otherwise they harm the planet.
Right, so hang on. Don't prescribe inhalers. Don't give them a winter fuel allowance. And then legalise assisted dying. Can anyone say population control?
Can you see a pattern? Can you see a
got a
pattern
population
emerge?
problem.
Amazing. Ah, dear. All the while, we're being spoiled. All the time, we're being spoiled with some of the most wonderful treatment that you could ever expect. And, you know, they really want to make sure that we're having a great time. Just like our Christmas decorations this year. Have you seen them, UK Urban? This is what we've been presented with. This is what we thought we were going to be getting in London. This is like what we expected to see, right?
Right. Do I want to see? Is it going to be a jaguar hanging upside down?
No, this is what we got. It's a joke, man. Did you see it? Did you see it? Right?
I love it. I'm all for it. And any video that has them flutes on showing the disaster.
I'm just watching for the old copyright there, right? It's fucking amazing, man. It's just embarrassing. It's embarrassing. You need to remove the UK out of your UK urban prepper, I'm telling you.
I will when I emigrate. I'm sure it's got a lovely story behind it, like some child designed it from the town.
Oh, God. Like when you see what's going on in China and stuff, right? And they're making all this new tech and they're building like 300 kilometers of bridge in the middle of the air out of nowhere with like less than 3 billion sheets that America said they'd never get that built in 300 years and they did it in 3. And all the while, what do we get? Plastic straws and fucking bags that split.
You're not allowed plastic straws anymore. Where have you been?
Exactly. Well, paper straws is what we get, yeah?
Yeah. Paper straws plus the McDonald's milkshake do not mix.
And fake milk just in case it makes the cows fart. Amazing. Cheers, Wolfpack. Thanks for being with us. Yeah. I don't know about you, Mikey Poos, but I'm out of tea. Yeah? Oh, check it out with the old grass monster. Respect. Gang signs and letter K. Welcome to the crew.
I like the potential for the ad campaign though. Come to England. Even the cows don't fart.
Yeah. Yeah. Although keep hold of your mobile phone, wouldn't you? With 2 hands. With super glue and a chain, and you'll be all right. Oh man, plastic straws and plastic cups in it, which is nearly as good as getting It's nearly as good as the carbon capture things, isn't it? It's like, yeah, we call them trees. We don't need to spend £30 billion on carbon capture. We can just plant trees. I'm up for that. I like to hug the odd tree when I'm out walking Hugo Bear in the woods.
Yeah. And the energy crisis, so let's encourage everyone to get rid of the petrol cars and the diesel cars because, you know, we've got plenty of electricity to go around, I'm sure.
Do you know, talking of London, I've got to tell you, Mike, right? Let me know what you think. And I know you're from way up, right, away from London.
Up north.
And in fact, I was telling you a story, wasn't I, before we went live earlier when we were in the after party room, which we'll be going into very shortly after the show. So do join us in there if you want to join us live in the chat and talk about whatever you want. But we were talking about, I was saying about when I was carjacked at Knife Point in London, right? And it was an interesting experience. And I think my sister, the one who lives in Canada, we visited her before in Canada and stuff. That's the closest I ever got to America, was Canada. She's coming to the UK in December. We're already in December, but in a couple of weeks' time, 2 weeks' time. And she's invited me and Xavier, our son, to go down to London to do some touristy stuff. A, I can't afford it, but B, I'm like, oh God. With the way things are kicking off at the moment, do I really want to be in the middle of London? Do you know what I mean? I can't afford to just. And this is the problem, you see. You know, my own capital city of my own country, and I'm dubious as a survivalist and a prepper and someone who understands from a threat assessment point of view at that time of year. Just, do you know what I mean? There's just a little element of that makes it uncomfortable rather than an easy decision, and it wouldn't have been like that many years ago, Mike. You know?
Yeah, I'm the same. We used to go to the Manchester Christmas markets every year.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we wouldn't buy any of the knockoff tap that's not even handmade. But
I hope that the Christmas decorations look better than London's this year, though.
I used to obviously go for the food and the drink, but now it's just there's armed guards at every entrance. There's metal detectors as you go in. There's guards with like little MP5 sort of thing, and it's just like
it doesn't instill much confidence, does it?
This doesn't feel very Christmassy,
no,
you know.
Not at all. And you know, to some degree, I do. This is a part of the normalization process. To be honest, this is part of that normalizing the police state kind of thing. The same as launching the facial recognition cameras, which they're yet to publicize and let the public know that's what they're doing. But yeah, there's a big procurement order, as I showed recently. There's a big procurement order by the UK government for facial recognition cameras to be put up on virtually every street corner. So we've got that to come. Do you know what I mean? And these are all things to make people feel like there's a reason to be panicked even more so, because then they can justify rolling out the extra security surveillance measures. Whenever they say security, just switch it out for surveillance and you're fine. Do you know what I mean? Just replace that word every time, and it's you know, that's more what we're talking about, to be honest, right? What else have we got here? This is interesting.
40 years ahead of the year we should actually be on, 1984.
Yeah, and talking of 1984, this is another video that didn't get shown on yesterday's show because it wasn't really relevant to the Warzone Wednesday. You enjoying that show, the Warzone Wednesday, Mike?
Yeah. I'm not enjoying it because the reason you've got to have it is because we're all at war.
Are you enjoying benefiting and learning from it, or being entertained by it at the very least, hopefully? I
am definitely, but I can't wait for it to all go away and we have fuck alls happening Friday.
Yeah. But you know, talking of the 1984 thing, Mike, I've got to show you this, look. This is something I've come across last week. I thought this is interesting. People put in perspective.
So this is straight from the Customs and Border Patrol agent at the airport today. When it was my turn, I approached the desk and he motioned for me to stand in front of the camera and took a picture. I waited a moment and said, "Do you want to see my passport?" And he shook his head no. So I asked him, "Why did you take my picture?" And he said, "It's facial recognition software. When I take your picture, your passport pops up on my screen, which is why I don't need to see it." "What other information pops up?" I asked. And he said, "Everything I need to know about you, I can find out. I know by taking your picture, your name, your date of birth, where you live, and every time the government has taken a picture of you, it pops up in our screen." So I asked him, "Are you able to see criminal records?" He said, "Of course." "Are you able to see my driver's license?" And he said, "Of course." "If you have a valid entry document, or if the government ever took your picture for any reason, I can find out everything I need to know about you." So there you go, straight from the Customs and Border Patrol, why you're photographed at the airport. Safe travels and be careful.
So there you go. Not that we thought any different, but you know, this is how they're rolling.
Yeah, it's just when somebody actually says it, it's like it seems like a shocking thing, but it's been going on for years, right? It's just getting more and more advanced and quicker. Yeah.
I do appreciate everyone being with us. There's some great conversations going in the live chat, which is why I love doing the lives rather than videos. You've probably noticed that about me, Mike. And I mean, you're great at doing the lives as well, which I think is the best way to go when you're building a community. It's more natural. You can't pretend to be someone you're not when you're live. Do you know what I mean? It's like you just have to let all your warts and all flood out. Do you know what I mean? Get over yourself. Do you know what I mean? It's like the people who think I'm annoying. Yeah, it's just you just have to accept the fact, Mike, that as a creator, you just got to accept the fact that to loads of people, I'm probably super annoying. All my little autistic weird bits will probably get on people's nerves, and then there's another tiny segment of people that find me tolerable and bearable for hours at a time. And so I think it's just, if you try and be you, and then you will just attract the natural people that reflect you and your heart and your spirit and your soul. And this is what's happened, man. And I'm so pleased with all the people that have come to join Sigma Prepper. Such a wonderful bunch. We've never had a bad word said amongst us about anything. It's so lovely. No trolls, no time wasters, no bots, nothing. I know.
I've got all them.
I was going to say, it is early days because obviously it's only small, but in terms of if current trends continue, do you know what I mean? And this is why I'm actually grateful for having a really slow start, and especially having so much experience helping other clients build channels through my media company back in the day, right? Until recently. And so I think as long as you maintain that focus and I'd rather grow slowly, because I think people like Funky Prepper, bless him, who's gone woomph to 139,000 subscribers, and he's a bit probably overwhelmed at being made to look a fool, like you said, on that camp he was invited on. It turned out he knew nothing about survival at all in real life, unless it's something on his screen he's reading off or has looked at before. Do you know what I mean? It's just that you can't be like that, man, and that's when it all falls apart. And I feel like you're very similar to me in as much as, you know, you just let yourself hang out, and those that can bear you and love you will, and those that don't, you just have to get over it and say, okay, you know.
I'm the Marmite Prepper. You're gonna either love me or hate me. There's no in the middle. That's it.
The only problem is I'm way more hateable than you. This is the reality of it. So I'm finding it difficult to find my little niche of my little, you know, but I think we're doing great. And I think we're well aligned.
I've got a new goal anyway. You know,
What's your goal?
I wasn't chasing the numbers, but now that I see that they class a TikToker as a celebrity and I'm a celebrity, get me out of here, I think if we get me big enough, we can get me in the jungle.
Yeah, I'll be up for that. I'm up for some jungle activity. And I said, you know, if I were to move anywhere, I would probably move back to Southeast Asia somewhere. Maybe start Thailand and maybe go Malaysia and Singapore or something. But both our favourite countries, me and Mrs. Sigrid Prepper, right? But what I'd want to do is to continue the prepping, but I can broaden my skills even more, because then I'd be able to be learning to survive in the jungle, tropical jungle environments, as well as British woodland and things like I do now, with my solo wild camping and stuff. Do you know what I mean? Missions, bug out missions. Now then you're dealing with you know, cobras and massive dinner plate spiders and all this kind of stuff. It's a different level of stuff. I'd like to do all that and keep it going, but Flat Cat Gaming, I'm a prepper. Get me into there, innit? Like it.
That's the problem, though. They probably wouldn't, because you're too ready. I applied for Bear Grylls' island back in the day. Yeah. And unfortunately, I was honest on my application. I think I should have said, "Oh, I'm scared of everything," and then he would have let me come.
Do you know, Karen in there saying my iPhone did an update the night before last. It asked me to set up face recognition when I turned it on. I just chose the later option. Do you know? I don't even have. I don't have a lock. I don't have a lock on any of my smart devices. Just lich. None of them. I got literally nothing to hide. It wouldn't matter what you picked up. You can just pick up any of my devices.
The lock is not to hide.
Straight away.
The lock is not to hide. What if you lose the phone?
What if you what?
What if you lose the phone?
Oh well. Not really. Oh well, but I don't intend on losing it.
Nobody intends on losing something.
Do you know how old this phone is? This is my Sigma Prepper hot phone, but it's not. This is literally just used as my camera. Yeah, so I got this contract so that I could have decent camera phone, but I still use my ancient, what is this, an iPhone 10 or something like that? I don't know, but it's still rocking today, right? And so I'm just not that bothered. I'm working from home all the time. I'm here writing books and things like this, right? And doing soldering and things on my product design. So when I'm going out, Mike, I'm going out to walk Hugo Bear. You know what I mean? And might do that tonight, actually. I think while we're doing our after party, which we're due to get rocking in right now over on the Discord server. So please come and join us if you're, if we had anyone new join. Yorkshire Pud in the house. Great to see you. I hope you've gone straight into the animal lovers. Yes, you have. And sorted us out with some proper... Oh, Lafsme. Lafsme's added some new... What is that? A bunny rabbit, you've seen? Looks like it. Yes, it is as well. Like it. Looks like they've accepted each other. We've got to give it some wolf love. So thank you for joining the Discord server. So what we're doing is here, right, you see the public after party. As I've said, usually it's the VIP Patreon members only, but up until like Christmas or so, we're doing it for people. We're doing it for people that are usually in the cheap seats, Mike, right?
Yep.
Now that's not you, because as you can see above me, you've got a nice red colour to your name, and the orange colours and red colours are the VIP people. Right? Otherwise, you're just grey and boring. I'm only joking, people. I'm winding you up. So anyway, you can come and join us in the after party in this one here. You'll see us all in there. We're talking about whatever you want to talk about. Right? If there is any trolls that arrive, we'll just be like, whoosh, yeah?
And
we'll tag team and Mike. And Mike will be in there as well.
So, yeah, stand up and shout.
I don't know what you're like for tomorrow with the old work and stuff and getting up in the morning, but we'll certainly be there for as long as Mike can be and as long as I can be, which will be plenty. I might even have to take Hugo Bear out for a walk because he didn't get a walk today, doing the 2 shows that I did, of course, with the Go to Jail with a Funky Prepper live analysis. Thank you to those that joined in on that. If you didn't see that video, please go and check it out. You'll see it on my channel and stuff, and go and support the channel. If you haven't subscribed, please do as well, because you know, I'm trying to, you know, I'm struggling here. But thank you so much to Mike for coming on and being such a great sport and being such a great friend of the channel and the Wolfpack as a whole. Everyone's welcomed you with open paws, I tell you. Cheers to you, Mike, for being such a great human.
No, cheers for having me. Always a pleasure to... I don't know. We don't even have topics of conversation, do we? We just ramble for a good hour.
Someone just says, I've got a real bad problem and I'm not sure what to do. And then everyone's like, oh, I'll tell you what you could do. And just everyone always knows the solution to something. That's what's great about the after parties, because you've got such a diverse range of people who all know their ting. Yeah. Yeah. So, struggling. So what we're going to be doing is doing the after party. I'm probably going to, my worthless guard dogs. That's a wild bunny, says Lasme. Thank you so much for your support tonight, Lasme. Thank you again to you, my man, Mike, for your super chat earlier as well. It really, really helps the channel to survive. And what can I tell you? It's been lovely catching up with you, Mike. I'm so excited today, it's not even funny. So thank you to Paul C as well for being our most recentest VIP Patreon member. Really appreciate the support. We've got no idea how just $6 a month helps me massively. You know, 10 Patreon members is like, you know, my software license paid for to be able to do these shows. Do you know what I mean? It's like the little things, isn't it? You know, it really helps. It adds up. So thank you, Mike. I appreciate it. We're going to carry on after the show anyway. You're going to join us in the after party, and you might. Yeah.
I'll be over there for a short period. I do have to be up early, so
yeah,
get
man.
your questions in early.
Absolutely. So come and join us over there, and really looking forward to catching up with you in the next one. Don't forget, tomorrow, theoretically, maybe what I'm thinking is going to be is live in the lab, a live in the lab show. I really need to sort out my diesel heater. I need to be able to buy a tank of diesel to run through it, and that's the problem at the moment. I'm not feeling very rich, but I'll probably try and hope and sort it out tomorrow. I'll get to the gas station. But this is what the thumbs usually look like for the live in the lab or something like this. So I'll be doing that tomorrow, and I'll be showing you what I've got on my Chinese diesel heater as an emergency heater for winter. If there's no power, that would be the only way heating this space. And I've got one for the living room that we sometimes use as well, where I use the traditional chimney fireplace for the exhaust fumes, right? So I'll be covering all of that perhaps tomorrow. If not, I'll be here tomorrow doing other things anyway with you either way. But again, please go and check out the other videos on my channel, and it's been lovely seeing you. Thank you to Della Sandor for your wonderful order of the merchandise. Got herself some mugs, so thank you, my darling. Cheers to you, Della. Next time we say cheers, you'll have your own official Sigma Prepper mug. Right, I think I'm done with all the nonsense now. Are you ready, Mike?
Yeah, thanks Daily Survival for posting my link. Appreciate it.
Actually done it in it. Okay, excellent. Yeah. And again, live chat, you'll see the link there. And UK Urban Prepper, search for that on YouTube. It'll come straight up anyway. So great to have you on as a guest, just on a casual, on the offshoot, man. And we're getting together doing our podcasting as well, aren't we? Interviews. So we'll talk about that on a later date.
Yep.
And we'll get that figured out as well. And I've got my guest video things I need to get figured out. I might even move this over somewhere, but we'll figure it out enough so we can have the video and the name of the guest as well. And then we can drive that forward, having guests on the show. So really looking forward to that. Thank you to everyone. Really appreciate each and every one of you joining us. I'll catch up with you in the Mike anyway in the after party. So let's hear it for Mike for being such an awesome dude. Look at Lasme. Diesel Sheets, no excuses. Live in the Lab is now sponsored officially by Lasme, my darling. So I'll be getting myself a little bit of diesel from the garage tomorrow, and then I can try and run through my diesel heater that's clogged up probably, but we'll have to see how it pans out. So thank you so much, Lasme. You're such a darling. And yeah, what can I tell you? Thank you everyone who's been here. Thank you, Local Prepper. Great to have you with us as well tonight. Black Cat Gaming, Carolyn, take care, my darling. And Miss Worm as well. Thank you for being with us tonight, and thank you for being there, of course, with the Funky Prepper thing. So yeah, let's do it then, and I shall see you in the after party. Get yourself over there on a Discord server, but in the meantime, hit the like button if you haven't done already. I've been Drew the Single Prepper. You've been amazing. And in the meantime, love, peace and progress. To the pack.
Reject the herd, prepare the pack. Click the like button, it's as easy as that. Check the description for the links you need. Follow my socials, subscribe to my feed. From a single lone woman to a family of 5. Learn from Sigma Prepper and see how you can thrive. We understand the risks that tomorrow could bring. We adapt and survive, it's a wolf pack thing. Reject the herd, prepare the pack. Click the like button, it's as easy as that. Check the description for the links you need. Follow my socials, subscribe to my feed.